On day 1, I spawned into the middle of the Dead Sea as a Jesus lizard. Oh wow, I'm walking on water. This is incredible. What a starting power. I decided to try out this power and run around on the surface of the water, looking at all the large, craggy rock structures that were popping up from the deep and salty sea. This is a really strange world. It looks like there's a lot more ocean than land. But I guess a place like this is perfect for a Jesus lizard like me, even if I am a baby one with only 6 hearts. I should also probably mention that Jesus lizard is just a nickname. I'm also known as a green basilisk lizard. Thoughts were interrupted by an arrow whizzing past my face, barely missing me. I turned to see a bunch of strange little creatures with crossbows standing on the stony crags not far from me.
Hey, we're the Stoneling boys. We don't want freaky-deaky sea creatures like you on our turf.
Technically, I'm not a sea creature. I'm just a reptile capable of walking across bodies of water without breaking the surface tension.
He's trying to confuse us with big words. Fire on him, boys.
I turned to run, but my little baby lizard legs weren't enough to carry me away in time. One of the arrows hit me, and I felt myself getting woozy. I started to sink into the water as the Stoneling boat began rowing towards me. On day 2, I woke up in a strange place. It was a large pool of water, fenced in by walls made of the same craggy stone as the rest of the rocks in the Dead Sea. There was another one of the Stonelings standing on the platform up above me, pointing a crossbow down.
Not so tough now, are we, Mr. Lizard? That'll teach you to mess with our TVs. Stonelings forever.
He ran off, leaving me alone in the cell. There looked like there was only one gate leading out, but the lever to activate it was on the outside. Oh, they really thought of everything. Soon after, a dolphin rose out of the water behind me. Oh, hey, a dolphin.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I don't. I was just saying what you are.
Oh, that's just a coincidence. My name is actually Dolph Finn. My parents had a pretty sick sense of humor.
Well, how do we get out of here, Dolphin?
There is no way to get out unless you can, I don't know, climb up that wall and open the gate from the other side. What are the chances of that?
That gave me an idea. I walked over to the wall and started climbing, and amazingly, it worked. I guess I've got sticky lizard feet, like a gecko. I leaped over the top and opened the door from the other side, allowing Dolph to escape.
Hey, you've got a knack for this. What's your name, kid?
It's Zozo.
Well, thanks for saving me, Zozo. Good luck out there.
Dolph swam away, and I decided to join him, running off across the water into the sunset and getting away from those nasty little Stonelings. On day 3, I decided to take a break from my relentless water running and rest in one of the big craggy structures sticking out of the water. Man, it's salty out here. Kind of making me hungry. I wonder if there's anything decent to eat around here. I spotted fish nearby, and as luck would have it, I found a fishing rod on the rocks near them. I picked it up and started fishing to my heart's content. Eventually, I had plenty of yummy fish in my inventory and ate some to dull my hunger pangs. That's good eating. That's when I heard the most beautiful song. It was almost hypnotic. I found myself following it until I saw a beautiful siren sitting in the water. That was a lovely song. I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you.
Why, hello, Zozo. I'm Serena the siren. Little redundant, I know, but that's what I've got.
What are you doing out here? Just practicing your singing?
Hiding out, actually. I'd love to tell you more, but it's not safe here. Come on, follow me.
She swam away, and I followed her, running across the water. From day 4 to day 5, I followed Serena back to her domain, right in the center of the deep frozen ocean, one of the coldest places I'd ever been. Her base was in some of the frozen ice, half above water, half below it. It seemed like a pretty cool place, metaphorically and literally.
I've got a lot of people gunning for me, Zozo. All I want to do is practice my beautiful singing.
That's so unfair. How can I help?
Well, I know the people who are coming after me. Maybe you can help defend me from them, like a heroic bodyguard.
That sounds great. Where do I start?
You can start by building me a safe house elsewhere in the deep frozen ocean, in case I need to escape quickly. Take these stone tools and get started.
Will do, Serena. She gave me the tools, and I hightailed it out of there, looking for a good place to work on my base. But while I was running across the water, I saw a Stoneling boat heading right towards me. Uh-oh! The boat was moving fast, but somehow I felt a boost of power, maybe because of my heroic deeds. I got bigger, my heart count went to 12, and most importantly, I got a new power! Jump boost! I jumped super high over the boat and just kept running, leaving it in the watery dust. Soon, I'd found my way to a decent piece of icy territory and used that in my tools to start building a new base. This will make a perfect safe house for Serena. I'm gonna defend her with everything I have. From day 6 to day 8, with some good progress made on the safe house, I decided to run back across the water to Serena's icy lair. Why did I say lair? Serena's totally nice and not suspicious at all. I arrived and found Serena waiting in one of her watery pools. She looked like she wasn't expecting me. Serena, it's Zozo. I'm back.
Oh, hey, Zozo. I was just finishing up my lunch. How can I help you?
By telling me how I can help you. You told me that people were coming after you. What can I do to help?
Well, how about we be proactive and go after them instead? I can give you their names, and then you can go and defeat them for my honor.
That's an excellent idea, Serena. Where should I start?
Start with Blorbo, the Goblin King in the mangrove swamp. And it'd be dangerous to go alone, so take this.
Serena gave me a Sinister Sword, which had a powerful critical hit bonus. Wait, Sinister Sword? Why do you have this?
Don't think about it.
And so I didn't think about it. I started running off, ready to face Blorbo, the Goblin King. From day 9 to day 10, I arrived in the mangrove swamp, Sinister Sword at the ready. Man, this place stinks. Definitely not a fun place to be.
How dare you, knave!
A little green man in a cloak and a crown leaped out of the darkness. Oh no, you must be Blorbo, the Goblin King.
Yes, I was, until certain recent events stole my kingship from me.
Stole your kingship? What are you even talking about?
You've got the Sinister Sword. You must be in league with her. That's why you must be destroyed.
What? Are you talking about Serena?
Yes, she's the one who ate.
I didn't even let him finish his sentence. I just struck him with my Sinister Sword, destroying him in a single blow. Huh. I guess being a king didn't actually make him any stronger than the average goblin.
Hey, Zozo! Fancy seeing you here.
It was Dolphin. He was peering out of the swamp water. Hey, Dolph, what are you doing here?
I came in to investigate. I was told that a goblin army was here until it got eaten by some kind of monster.
A monster? Huh. I better ask Serena about that. From day 11 to day 12, I arrived back at Serena's base in the deep frozen ocean, feeling a little confused about this whole situation. Lucky for me, Serena was quick to put my mind at rest with an extremely compelling line of argument.
Come on, Zozo, you know me. Do I look like a monster? I'm your friend, Serena. Those goblins were probably eaten by some totally horrible monster that isn't me.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that, it's a good point.
On a different note, here's some cool new iron armor pieces and iron pickaxe I coughed up. Mined and crafted.
She gave me the pieces, and I immediately equipped them. And it couldn't have been better timed, because I heard some incredibly suspicious noises outside. Don't worry, Serena, I'll take care of this. I ran outside and saw a small invasion force of stonelings. Kill the beast! Kill the beast! Kill the beast! Of course, I wasn't having any of that, and I was much stronger than I used to be. They were clumsy, and when they slid into the water without their boats, they struggled to swim. With my Sinister Sword, I cleaved through all of them, and then ran back to Serena. It was the stonelings, Serena.
They found us all the way out here. This is bad, Zozo. The illager from a faraway land must have had something to do with this.
Where can I find him? He must be stopped.
He's hiding somewhere in the mangrove swamp. I've never been able to find him, but maybe you'll have better luck than me.
I won't let you down, Serena. From day 13 to day 15, I ran my magical lizard run into the heart of the mangrove swamp. I searched all day and night through the goblinless expanse of the swamp until I caught a strange and mysterious scent, something that almost smelled like it came from a faraway land. That must be him. I ran in the direction of the scent as fast as I could, gripping my Sinister Sword tight until I eventually found the illager hiding behind a tree. You! Stop right there!
No, please, don't hurt me.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't, after what you've done to my friend.
I haven't hurt anyone. I just fled here to seek the protection of the Goblin King after the monster ate my family. But then, the monster ate the Goblin King's army, and someone destroyed the Goblin King.
Okay, the Goblin King was my fault, but what's the deal with the rest? What monster supposedly did all of this?
It was the Siren. The Siren was behind it all. She lures her victims in with her sweet song and controls their minds. And when they're done, she devours them.
Oh, I think I may have misread this situation. I'm extremely sorry, Mr. Illager. There's something I need to figure out. I turned and started to run back out of the mangrove swamp. A little did I know, she was much closer than I thought. If the illager had turned around in time, he would have seen an evil Serena rising from the water.
Dinner time, illager.
From day 16 to day 19, as I was running away, I heard a horrible scream and some crunching noises behind me. I quickly turned tail and ran back in the direction of the illager. Sadly, by the time I arrived, it was already too late. Serena had eaten him alive!
And he was delicious.
Serena, how could you?
Sorry, Zozo. I was hungry, and I'm sorry to tell you that I'm really just like this. You're not very good at noticing red flags.
You do look different, but if you really are the monster that ate all of those different creatures, why didn't you eat me? There must be some good in you.
Actually, Zozo, I didn't eat you because you're still far too little and scrawny. Once you've fully leveled up, then you'll be the perfect meal.
You won't be around when I'm fully leveled up. Time to battle. I drew my sword, but before I could lunge in and strike, she started to sing again. I started feeling lightheaded from the sound, and soon enough, I'd passed out. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up with a splitting headache. But hey, at least I hadn't been eaten. The first thing I heard was the voice of Dolphin the dolphin, popping out from one of the swamps.
Zozo, buddy, you doing okay?
Not exactly. Turns out I was helping a man-eating monster. It's gonna take a lot of good karma to work that off, or she's gonna eat me someday too.
I'm not gonna let anyone eat the person who saved me from jail. Let's work together and find other people who want to fight Serena and form an alliance.
That sounds like an amazing plan, Dolph. Why were you in jail, by the way?
Felony tax evasion. Let's go.
We went back to what was once going to be Serena's safe house in the deep frozen ocean and decided to modify it into a very unsafe house for her. Filled in the pool area where Dolph could stay, and we spent the night plotting our revenge. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to head back to the Dead Sea where I'd first spawned. I need to form an alliance with the Stonelings. There's no way either of us will be able to defeat Serena on our own. But I didn't find the Stonelings. As I was running through the waters of the Dead Sea, I saw a Vex Piglin standing on an island, surrounded by a vicious mob of armored drowned.
Help me! Please! Help me!
This wasn't something I'd allow to stand. Get out of there, Vex! I'll take on these awful creatures! The Vex Piglin ran for it, and I ran in, still wielding my sinister sword with all the same power and purpose. The armored drowned surrounded me, but their armor didn't do them any good. I sliced through every single one until I had enough XP to level up. As usual, I got bigger, stronger, grew to 22 total hearts, and gained a new claw attack. Downside, the bigger I am, the tastier I'm gonna look to Serena. Upside, with these claws, if she eats me, I can claw my way out. From day 27 to day 31, my search for the Stonelings continued, unsuccessfully. Instead, I found a bunch of sheep floating in the water. You guys don't look like you're meant to be here. Let me take you back to my base. You look like you could use something a little drier. I spent the rest of my day luring a bunch of very wet sheep from the Dead Sea to the deep frozen ocean where my base was waiting. I cut out a section of the ice for them to stay in. Afterwards, I went to see how Dolphin the dolphin was doing.
Zozo, you're gonna love this. I've been working on an awesome storage room. I think you're gonna love it.
And I did love it. He'd made a great storage room where he'd already started to stow weapons, gear, and resources. I'd love to see Serena stop us now. Meanwhile, over in Serena's evil lair, and yes, I'm sure it's a lair now, evil was brewing, as her old friend, the Pied Piper, had teamed up with her now.
Thanks for coming down, Double P. I need this problem taken care of for me. Think you could slow down Zozo and his sad little allies? Consider it done, Lady Serena. After all, us evil magical musicians have got to stick together.
From day 32 to day 35, I continued to search the Dead Sea for the Stonelings, hoping we could forge an alliance powerful enough to take down Serena. I guess the cost of being able to run on water is having a terrible sense of direction. Eventually, to my luck, a Stoneling boat came rowing over to me. It didn't seem to be aggressive.
I've been watching you wander around the ocean like a doofus for hours, and it was starting to get painful. If I lead you back to my base again, are you gonna try attacking us or escaping this time?
No, I swear. We've got a common enemy, Serena the Siren. I was under her spell before, but now I'm better, and I want to help.
Then you better follow me, or you'll be around here looking for us all week.
I walked behind the boat until we found the base again, the same base where I had been imprisoned over a month ago. I was led into a main chamber, where a regal-looking Shiba Inu dog was waiting.
I am Lord Shiba, leader of the Stonelings.
Never would have seen that coming.
I hear you side with us against the evil siren now. That is good. but you must grow so much stronger and find the right tools before you have any hope of beating her. Do you think you can?
Lord Sheba, I don't think I have much of a choice. From day 36 to day 39, after finally making some alliances with the Stonelings and their apparent leader, Lord Sheba, I decided that I needed to upgrade my gear. I wandered through the frozen wastes of the deep frozen ocean until I found what looked like an ancient cave carved into the ice. There's either gonna be some awesome treasures or horrible monsters down there. Let's find out! I descended into the darkness of the cave, putting up torches along the walls to protect myself from the dark. When I got deep enough, I saw the glitter of diamonds and used my iron pickaxe to free them and add them to my inventory. These will come in handy here, but that wasn't the only glowing, glittering thing I found down there. There was also a rather magnificent weapon, the blue crystal sword. This is perfect. I probably shouldn't be using the weapon Serena gave me anyway. It's a weapon of evil. I dropped the sinister sword and swapped it for the blue crystal sword. But those two weren't the only glowing, glittering things I found down there. A pixie suddenly appeared with a frantic message.
Zozo, go to Lord Sheba right now!
And then exploded. That seemed like an emergency to me. From day 40 to day 43, I responded to the emergency call given by the pixie. I ran all the way to the Dead Sea and immediately met with Lord Sheba in the heart of the Stoneling Sanctum. Lord Sheba, what's wrong? The message sounded urgent.
It is urgent, Zozo. I've received intelligence that Serena has allied with another deadly, sound-based foe, the Pied Piper. His piping is so deadly that it's similar to a warden shriek. We need to...
Suddenly, a wall next to me exploded. The piping menace entered.
Wee-hee-hee! The Pied Piper is me!
Before I had any chance to fight back, he started blowing powerful warden shrieks. Everything they touched was destroyed, and it seemed like there was nothing I could do, so I turned and ran as fast as I could. I'm glad that Lord Sheba got to warn me at least. This guy is terrifying. From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base in the deep frozen ocean, feeling shaken after everything that had gone down in the Stoneling base. That Pied Piper guy seems almost as dangerous as Serena herself. I don't even know who survived that chaos. Lucky for me, there were plenty of survivors, including the incomparable Lord Sheba. He arrived at my base with all the regal glory you could expect.
Zozo, it comforts me that you survived the attack of the Pied Piper. My Stonelings can't afford to see the destruction of their champion.
Even if I did survive, what good is that? If I'm not even strong enough to defeat her friend, how will I ever defeat Serena?
Sometimes the man makes the gear. Other times, the gear makes the man. Go to the mangrove swamp and seek out the hero's chestplate. It will make you immune to the powers of control.
Whoa, I think you're onto something there, Lord Sheba. From day 50 to day 53, I did exactly as Lord Sheba said and returned to the mangrove swamp. I hate coming here. It always makes me feel guilty about all the terrible things I did while Serena was tricking me. I was briefly broken out of my self-pitying trance when I saw an old chest in amongst the trees. Oh, maybe this is where I can find the hero's chestplate. This whole thing might be a lot easier than I thought. I reached the chest and noticed a little goblin head was popping out of it. This was no ordinary chest, it was a mimic.
Hey, get away from my house, freeloader. You've caused enough trouble here without trying to kick me out of my box.
Nobody's trying to kick you out. I'm just here to find the hero's chestplate.
No chance! Only heroes find it, and only heroes can wear it. So you've got no chance, kid. Get out of here and keep searching, lizard boy.
He was rude, but he was right. I left to keep searching, hoping to someday earn the hero's chestplate. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to the Dead Sea, hoping to get advice from Lord Sheba on how I could defeat Serena without the hero's chestplate, just in case I never actually become a hero enough to actually earn it.
Oh, you'll never get there, you silly, silly boy!
I turned and saw the Pied Piper standing up on one of the stony crags. How long had this creep been following me? He could move silently whenever he wanted to.
You should have let my sound waves tear your
atoms apart, Zozo. It will be a more pleasant fate than getting eaten alive by Serena.
You can keep column A and column B all to yourself, buddy. I'm gonna defeat both of you.
Oh, what a boring answer. You know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this.
He fired another deadly sound blast that just narrowly missed me. There was no point in attacking him with my blue crystal sword. I fled as he fired more blasts at me.
I'll have a whole symphony for you next time, Zozo.
Meanwhile, back at Serena's lair, she was wondering what side dishes would pair best with me.
Zozo's getting bigger and stronger. Soon enough, he'll actually be a truly filling meal.
From day 58 to day 62, I returned to the base, back on the deep frozen ocean's frostbitten islands, feeling lucky to have narrowly missed the deadly sound blast of the Pied Piper. Dolphin the dolphin had also been working on a fun surprise for me when I got back in. He'd made some awesome upgrades. He furnished one room and included a secret underground bunker half filled with water and a furnace. Thanks for your hard work, Dolph.
No problem, Zozo. I made the furnace because I think you should probably change up your armor. Being in water so often has made your iron all rusty.
You got a point there, Dolph. My armor was looking a little cruddy, so I decided to find the same frozen cave I discovered earlier and search inside until I came upon more diamonds. Now I'll finally have enough to actually build some cool stuff. I went back up to my base and took advantage of the crafting table Dolph built in his room. I was able to forge some diamond armor, including a helmet and a cool diamond pickaxe. Let's see those nasty sound waves hurt me now. From day 63 to day 66, I was equipping all of my awesome new equipment when Lord Sheba arrived to deliver a proclamation.
Zozo, I have wonderful news for you. My stonelings have been investigating the matter, and I've discovered that the hero's chestplate may be at the bottom of the infamous polluted lake.
What are we waiting for then? Let's get down there. Lord Sheba and I took off, journeying until we reached the polluted lake, which lived up to its name. It was murky and smelled absolutely awful. So I just jump in and swim down to get the chest plate?
Yes, Zozo, but be warned. I've heard tell that there's a monster down there. Be ready to battle it with your blue crystal sword.
I hopped in and tried to swim down, but I couldn't breathe, and I was getting poisoned. The water was too terrible. I quickly surfaced, and Lord Sheba sighed.
I suspected this might happen. The water is too toxic. You'll need a better helmet to get down there.
Better than Diamond? That won't be easy. From day 67 to day 70, I was walking around the perimeter of my base, contemplating the best way to find a helmet more powerful than Diamond. I'm not exactly an expert on materials. Maybe netherite would work, but I wouldn't even know how to begin hunting down a netherite helmet. Before I could come to any valuable conclusions, a powerful strider was standing outside my base. I approached quietly, worried that he might want to fight.
I don't want to fight, actually.
Oh, that's good. Sorry for assuming that about you.
I wanted to give you a heads up. I saw some half-fish lady and a dude with a flute talking about how they were gonna attack this place. All surprised like. Probably best to be prepared for whenever that happens.
Well, that's concerning. Thanks for the tip, Strider.
Yeah, don't mention it.
He walked away, leaving me in a state of anxious anticipation. From day 71 to day 74, the attack began, and thanks to the warning the Strider gave me, I was at least partially prepared. While Dolphin the dolphin hid away, I watched as the Pied Piper unleashed a sonic assault on the base.
If you think this is bad, just wait. I'll be back, Zozo, and I'll destroy every last one of you. The siren's gonna eat somebody, and it ain't gonna be me.
Pied Piper fled, having damaged our base. Afterwards, myself and Dolph reconvened to discuss our plans.
I've gotta say, I really don't like this Pied Piper guy, Zozo.
The feeling's mutual, Dolph. We can't just sit back and wait for this to happen again. I need to take the fight to him. Meanwhile, back at Serena's lair, things were unfolding exactly as she'd hoped.
After that attack, Zozo is bound to attack the Pied Piper back. The next time he levels up, it'll be big enough to be worth eating.
From day 75 to day 78, Lord Sheba arrived at the base with a gift.
Zozo, So we now know that the Pied Piper is based in an encampment somewhere near Serena the Siren's base. But if you take him on as is, there's a good chance you'll be destroyed.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Lord Shiba.
Thankfully, I have a tool that may help you. You've been sorely lacking ranged combat abilities, so I figured this firework crossbow would be the perfect way to counteract the Pied Piper's sonic abilities.
He gave me a crossbow with some fireworks and arrows, and I set off to defeat the Pied Piper.
You can do it, Zozo. You have the inner power.
From day 79 to day 84, I arrived at the encampment outside the lair of Serena the Siren, where I saw the Pied Piper waiting.
Come back for another solo, Zozo.
I was hoping we could perform a duet. I forgot my violin, but I still brought my bow. I unleashed some firework arrows against the Pied Piper, causing a volley of explosions. But the explosions didn't seem to affect him at all.
An amusing prelude. How about I take over?
He started blasting sonic boom after sonic boom as I dodged as well as I could. Then, one of the booms collided with me directly. I thought I was a goner, but instead, something else happened. I felt my power growing. I got bigger, stronger, grew to 50 total hearts, then went from mere lizard to a mighty dragon, complete with the ability to breathe fire.
Wait, no, that isn't fair.
Here's the crescendo! With a blast of fire, the Pied Piper was destroyed, and a netherite helmet fell to the ground. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need! From day 85 to day 89, with my netherite helmet equipped and my blue crystal sword sharpened, I went back to the polluted lake. I need that hero's chestplate if I'm ever going to defeat Serena. It's now or never. I jumped into the disgusting polluted lake and swam directly down into the murky depths. It was even darker and colder than the frozen ocean, and I wasn't alone down there either. A giant, terrifying Hydra, the guardian of the chestplate, reared up and attacked. I was stronger walking on water. In it, I was just as vulnerable as anyone else. My air was slowly running out. I slashed away relentless. It was all I could until the Hydra was defeated. I saw a chest, and inside was the hero's chestplate. I grabbed it before swimming back to the surface of the lake as quickly as I could. In all my excitement, I couldn't even imagine what was waiting for me. From day 90 to day 94, I crested out of the surface of the lake, gasping for breath, and crawled out onto the shore. Oh, that was horrible. Finally, I can put on this chestplate and have the power to defeat. There was a beautiful sound, a wonderful song. Right before I could equip the chestplate, my body was frozen. The plate came out of my inventory and onto the ground in front of me. That's when I saw her, Serena the Siren, slithering out of the darkness and coming towards me.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Look how you've grown, Zozo. You're going to make the perfect dessert.
She picked up the hero's chestplate while I was powerless to stop her. So, you're gonna eat me?
Oh yeah, but not yet. Like I said, you're gonna make the perfect dessert. And you can't have your dessert before you've had your main course. Eat you soon, Zozo.
She slithered off on her freaky fishtail, no doubt ready to do something awful. From day 95 to day 97, with the siren herself gone, I could move again. I had no idea what her plan was, and thus, no idea what I should do first. That's why I made a beeline for the Dead Sea, wanting to ask Lord Shiba for advice. But when I arrived, it was to a sight of horror and devastation. There were no stonelings left, just a heavily injured Lord Shiba, just barely hanging on. Lord Shiba, what happened? Did Serena do this?
Oh yes, and it seems she brought her appetite. She ate every single one of the stonelings and made me watch, dealt a lethal blow to me.
There has to be something I can do to help.
No, Zozo, it's too late for us. Go and stop her before she can do something worse. You're the only one who can stop her.
Lord Shiba passed on, and I suddenly had a horrible realization. Oh no. Dolph! On day 98, I returned to my base in the deep frozen ocean, but it was a little too late to make any difference. The base was completely destroyed! Dolph! Where are you, Dolph? That's when I had an amazing idea. He must have hidden in the secret bunker underneath the base. I saw the entrance to the bunker and ran down, excited. This bunker was such a good idea, but when I opened it, I saw that it was empty except for a single note. It read, Thanks for the fishy snacks, Zozo. Very tasty. See you soon. That was the last straw. She'd eaten my friend. For that, I would have my revenge. Dolphins aren't even a fish, Serena. They're mammals. I'll destroy you once and for all. On day 99, with a single-minded pursuit of vengeance in my heart, I made a beeline directly for Serena the Siren's evil lair. Come out, Serena. Hope you're feeling hungry. Dessert just arrived. That caught her attention. I heard her slithering out of the base on her diabolical fishtail.
Ah, Zozo, just in time. I was starting to feel peckish again.
But before I get eaten, can I hear one more song? For old time's sake.
Who am I to deny a meal an encore? How about we start with...
While she was distracted, I blasted her with the firework crossbow, knocking the hero's chest plate out of her inventory.
Oh, you nasty little...
I swooped in, grabbed the chest plate, and equipped it. Now, I was immune to her evil song. Hope you're ready for a fair fight, Serena.
Zozo, I'm gonna eat you slowly.
On day 100, the clock ticked over and the real fight began. It was immediately clear that this time around, I had the advantage. Without her song, she was hardly dangerous at all. She was just another aquatic evil. Every time she attacked, I dodged and attacked back harder with my blue crystal sword. Little by little, I wore her down and outmatched her.
You can't do this. I'm the siren. My power is irresistible, Zozo.
Resist this! With a mighty blast of my fire breath, Serena the Siren, who caused so much pain and eaten so many people, was gone! You thought you were gonna get dessert? Instead, you got your just desserts! On day 1, I spawned in as a lethal poison lizard in the middle of the deep dark Zelkova forest. Oh, I look like I'm one rad reptile, even though I'm just a little baby lizard. I wonder if I have any powers. I walked over to a tree and swiped at it. I didn't even have a tool or weapon, but it turned out I had a set of awesome poison claws that I could use for claw-based attacks. I certainly wouldn't want to mess with me. But just because I wouldn't mess with me doesn't mean other people wouldn't. This point was proven when a huge, dog-headed guy charged through the forest towards me.
You dares invade the overworld of the mighty Lord Anubis? You are a trespasser, and all trespassers will be annihilated.
Maybe we can work this out. What if I did some work for you? I'm really good at completing quests.
What kind of value would I ever find in a nasty little poison lizard? To have you in my royal sight disgusts me. I will crush you, destroy you, leave not even a memory of your presence. Prepare to meet your doom, lizard!
Before I could even try to reason with him, Anubis blasted a fireball near to me. I didn't feel like taking my chances. I just turned and ran off as fast as I could. Oh no, I'm gonna need to get strong enough to defeat that guy, or I'm toast. I guess being a poison lizard doesn't win you many friends right off the bat. I hid in the forest, but that didn't mean I was out of the woods yet, literally. On day 2, I continued my journey through the forest. It wasn't long until I felt my reptilian stomach rumble and decided that I needed to source some food. I don't see anything meaty around here, so I guess I'll settle for some fruit. Is there an apple tree anywhere near me? I searched for a little while until I found one, before striking it down with my poison claws and grabbing some yummy apples to eat. At least I know now that I won't keel over from hunger. It'll probably be that evil jackal god with the fireballs that does me in. Speaking of the devil, I saw a desiccated desert mummy walking out of the trees near to me. He didn't look friendly, I can tell you that much.
You must be the nasty little lizard that the great Lord Anubis told me about.
Of course you work for him, but why? He doesn't seem like he'd be a chill boss.
Fool! Anubis was the lord of the underworld, and with our help, he has conquered the overworld too. All who defy him must be eliminated.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I struck him with my poison claw attacks, but seeing that the desert mummy was already undead, my poison didn't affect him much. He was too strong. Uh-oh, all I could do was turn around and run, and I kept running until the desert mummy was fully out of sight. It was so frustrating to not be strong enough to defeat anyone. But when I stopped to rest, a ghost miner suddenly materialized right in front of me. Oh no, are you gonna attack me too?
No, Zozo. I am your spirit guide. It is up to me to help you fulfill your destiny.
My destiny?
It is unsafe to discuss here. Come with me.
He talked a good game, so I walked after the mysterious ghost miner. On day 3, the ghostly miner kept leading me through the Zelkova forest until we came upon a strange little cottage in the middle of the woods. This place seems a little suspicious.
This is the dwelling of the mystery sheep, Zozo. He is one of the allies that will help you along your journey to fulfilling your true destiny. Trust in me, and all will be okay in the end.
The ghost miner disappeared. He was certainly a strange guy, but who was I to disagree with the advice of my spirit guardian? Time to speak to the mystery sheep, I guess. I patiently waited at the door until it opened, and the mystery sheep trotted out.
What brings you here, stranger?
I was told to visit you by my spirit guide. He told me that you could help me fulfill my destiny.
Oh, yes? And what is your destiny?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure, but it's gotta have something to do with defeating this Lord Anubis guy who attacked me as soon as I arrived.
Ah, Lord Anubis, an arrogant little god, and vain too. I can see why he would despise a little poison lizard like you. But there's good news in that, my friend. If he underestimates you, then you can take him by surprise. If you do that, then you may have a chance to defeat him.
With that advice, I left the cottage to go make my own way in the world. The mystery sheep is right. Underestimating me might be the worst mistake that Anubis ever made. From day 4 to day 5, I kept searching until I found a little clearing in the Zelkova forest, big enough to build a little base for myself. I'm never gonna get strong enough to defeat Anubis if I don't learn to be independent. But I can't accomplish my goals if I don't have the right tools. That's why I slashed down a tree and used its resources to build myself a wooden pickaxe. Then, I didn't waste any time digging into the ground to collect some stone and craft myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. The stone sword will be useful if I run into another one of those freaky desert mummies. With my tool building work done for the day, I finally put some effort into building a little base. I made it out of wood and stone to keep it sturdy and made myself a little bedroom where I could relax when I wasn't out adventuring. My day's progress made my spirit guide, the ghost miner, materialize right in front of me.
Zozo, you have done well. Every step you take brings you closer to your destiny.
Thank you, Ghost Miner. Your advice has been super helpful.
Good. I have a gift for you. Take some of my ghostly energy and feel your power grow.
The Ghost Miner hit me with a blast of powerful spirit energy right in my face, and I could immediately feel myself getting bigger and stronger. I now had 20 hearts, more powerful attacks, and the ability to fire poison blasts.
You will be the one to save us all, Zozo.
From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out of the Zelkova forest for the first time. I decided to wander around the Badlands, which had a warmer climate that's perfect for a cold-blooded poison lizard like me. Feels good to feel the warmth on my scales. But my trip to the Badlands wasn't just an exercise in pure escapism and relaxation. As I walked, I was suddenly ambushed by the same desert mummy who had attacked me earlier.
Time for some pest control. I'm going to destroy you once and for all, you nasty little poison lizard, for the glory of the great Lord Anubis.
I'm not gonna be that easy, Mr. Mummy. I'm a lot stronger than I used to be.
You think that matters to Lord Anubis? I'm just one of his mummy's servants. Death is just the beginning, Zozo.
No, it's the end. I fired one of my poison blasts at the mummy to slow him down, then ran in with my stone sword to dash him and slash him until he poofed into nothing. That's what you get for bullying me, you beastly bundle of bandages.
I'm impressed, Zozo. Well done.
I turned and saw a mysterious forest guardian standing right behind me.
You have proven yourself to be a potential friend of the forest, my son. And if you help me rid this sacred place of evil, then I can give you wondrous prizes and powers. Do you agree to help me, Zozo?
That sounds like a great deal to me. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the guardian of the forest deeper into the Badlands. It didn't take him long to lead me to a location where a huge, terrifying spider queen was waiting. That's what he wants me to slay? Yikes, I guess I'll try my best. I ran in and tried to mount a sneak attack on the Spider Queen, but my attacks weren't strong enough to leave any lasting damage, and I couldn't say the same for her attacks against me. I ran away as fast as I could until I rendezvoused with the Guardian of the Forest and told him what happened.
I'm sorry for sending you into danger like that, Zozo. All things considered, you're lucky to be alive. Perhaps being a poison lizard allowed you to have a greater immunity to her Spider Queen venom.
I think when I'm stronger, I'll be able to take her down. In the meantime, why don't you come and stay at my base? I really need to gain some allies right now for a battle I'm fighting against Lord Anubis right now.
Of course, you have assisted in my battle, so I will assist in yours. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Guardian of the Forest. I immediately set to work, making him a room on the grounds of the base where he could stay while I was training. It wasn't all that impressive, but it was probably a decent place to get some rest at night. After I was done building, the Guardian came over to me with some good news.
I've built some upgrades for your base, Zozo, as an apology for putting you in a dangerous situation before. Go take a look.
The Guardian of the Forest had clearly used his supernatural powers to work fast. He'd built 3 upgrades: a chicken farm with a few chickens already herded inside, a storage room for spare equipment, and a furnace for smelting raw materials. This is incredible, thank you! And in fact, this gives me an idea. I went into a deep cave next to my base, and I explored inside until I found some iron ore, and used my stone pickaxe to mine it. Then, I went back to my base, used the furnace to smelt the ore into ingots, and turned those ingots into an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I'm really moving up in the world! From day 13 to day 15, the ghost miner, my spirit guide, materialized into the base.
Zozo, you must return to the Badlands.
But why spirit guide?
Another one of Anubis's minions, the Desert Mummy, is waiting there. If you defeat him, you will ascend to the next level of strength.
As you wish, spirit guide. I ventured out to the Badlands again, and it didn't take me long to find the exact desert mummy that the ghost miner had told me about. I pulled out my new iron sword, ran in, and attacked until the desert mummy was no more. And this gave me enough XP to upgrade again and level up, getting me up to 30 hearts and giving me a bigger, stronger body and more powerful attacks. Whoa, the ghost miner is always worth listening to. From day 16 to day 19, I decided to go and explore the strange, eerie Weeping Witch Forest. It's like something out of a fairy tale, a really weird, spooky fairy tale. And it was an interesting place to explore anyway. It was cold and dark, and it felt like something eerie could pop out from around any corner. So it didn't surprise me when another desert mummy emerged right in front of me, ready to battle.
You have slain my undead brethren, but you won't slay me, Zozo. I will annihilate you in the name of my master, Lord Anubis.
I still don't understand why you're so desperate to destroy me. Doesn't your Lord Anubis have bigger fish to fry? He is a literal god after all.
Your presence offends him. We need no more reason than that to send you to the underworld, cold and lifeless.
Not if I send you first. I battled the desert mummy. Just like the mystery sheep said, the mummy had underestimated me, just like his boss. And in the end, I defeated him. Wait, did he drop some kind of note? I looked around and found a note that had been dropped by the destroyed mummy. It came straight from Anubis, and it said, "You bandaged buffoons have failed me for too long. You must destroy this Zozo before he gets stronger. If he reaches full power, his poison will be able to harm me. We cannot allow that. Destroy him now." So that's why he wants to destroy me so bad. I understand it now. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my favorite mining cave to collect some more iron ore for crafting purposes. All this iron will perfectly match my iron will. I took the ore back to my base and used my furnace to smelt it into some ingots. Soon after, I had myself a tough new iron chest plate. Now I can really take a mean punch. It's time to settle an old score and go squash that evil spider queen. Afterwards, I returned to the Badlands, where I'd first met the Guardian of the Forest and promised to him that I'd defeat the spider queen that'd been plaguing the area. A poison lizard always pays his debts. I arrived at the Spider Queen's location, and this time, I was truly ready. With my weapons and powers, I attacked and destroyed the Spider Queen once and for all, freeing the Badlands from her terror for good. But my terror was just beginning. After defeating the Spider Queen, I heard something coming quickly towards me. I turned around, and it was Anubis himself.
Zozo, you monster! You destroyed my pet spider! You are truly my arch enemy!
What? I didn't know she was your pet spider. I just knew she was terrorizing creatures of the Badlands.
Yes, because I told her to. I have even more reasons to destroy you now.
I know the actual truth, Anubis. I know that if I get to my full power, my poison will be able to destroy you.
Oh yes, but you'll never get strong enough to be a threat to me. I'll destroy you first.
Anubis blasted me with fireballs, and I ran away as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to get back to my base in the forest with barely a scratch. Anubis had given up chasing me, but only for the time being. Even if he wasn't on my tail now, he was still out there and knew that I could put a stop to his evil plans if I just got stronger. And luckily for me, that was already happening. I met with the guardian of the forest again.
You've done well to slay the Spider Queen, Zozo.
Thanks. I didn't realize she was the pet of Anubis. But hey, without his creepy crawly, he's more vulnerable, right?
We can only hope, Zozo.
I was on a roll, and I couldn't stop now. I headed back to the mines to search for more materials and came across some more iron ore buried underground. I already have an iron sword, pickaxe, and chestplate. What else could come in handy? Oh, a helmet! That would be perfect, having some added armor to protect me. So I turned the iron ore into ingots and crafted myself a brand new helmet. That's when the ghost miner materialized again.
Zozo, come and see.
What is it? I followed my spirit guide. He'd been working on improving my base while I'd been off on my adventures. We'd now had a whole security bunker safe near the main base, a place where we could be secure just in case Anubis's forces ever tried to overrun our base. The bunker was nice and fortified, so they would have had no chance of ever getting in, and we could be nice and protected inside. From day 27 to day 31, I made the decision to venture back towards the Weeping Witch Forest. Even though I'd gotten rid of that nasty desert mummy the last time I was there, the whole place still gave me the creeps. Suddenly, I heard a faint voice, so I looked around to figure out where their voice was coming from. As I turned around, I was startled to see a gigantic axolotl right behind me. Whoa, don't sneak up on me like that.
Oh no, sorry about that, man. People usually spot me coming on the count of me being a big, bright pink axolotl. Didn't mean to startle you.
That's okay. Just tell me you're not working for that big jackal jerk Anubis.
Oh, no, man. In fact, I just wanted to come and say thanks for taking care of that desert mummy of his. Us amphibians and reptiles have got to stick together, right? That mummy destroyed my home, so I'm glad to be rid of him.
Why don't you come back to my base with me?
Aw, thanks, man.
Well, me and Big Axolotl were heading home. He had tons of suggestions about how I could make my base more homey with some new couches and bookshelves. Once we got home, I started to add his suggestions to the base, adding some couches and some bookshelves to liven up the place.
I actually have a real passion for interior design.
After I left Big Axolotl to relax, the ghost miner reappeared.
Zozo, I have another task for you, my son.
What is it? More trouble?
Indeed, I sense there are more of Anubis's forces nearby. We must act swiftly.
From day 32 to day 35, my spirit guide and I both left the safety of my base and headed back to where I had met the mystery sheep. According to the ghostly miner, the poor sheep was under siege from more of Anubis's dastardly desert mummies. The mystery sheep had given me some helpful advice before and offered me guidance when I wasn't sure what my destiny was, so the least I could do to repay him was help him out in his time of need.
Help! Someone please help!
We arrived at the mystery sheep's dwelling, only to see it was swarming with desert mummies. I had only ever beaten a couple of them before, and only in one-on-one fights. But I had been getting stronger, and my confidence was already increasing, so I leapt into battle! I swiped my iron sword at the mummies, launching a few poison attacks, while making sure the ones up close got a taste of the full fury of my improved combat skills. I took out one and another, but while I was busy fighting my way through them, some of the desert mummies went after the mystery sheep.
Zozo, things look bad. It may be too late for me. Remember your destiny. I know you won't let us down.
I wasn't able to save the mystery sheep. Even by the time I had defeated the other desert mummies, there was no one feeling more defeated than me. From day 36 to day 39, I left to clear my head. The ghost miner offered to come with me so he could comfort me in the wake of losing the mystery sheep, but I told him I'd rather be on my own for a while. I decided I'd head back to the Badlands, feel some more warm sunlight on my scaly lizard skin, in the hopes that might cheer me up. I was contemplating what had gone wrong. I was stronger, but not strong enough to save my friend. Suddenly, while I was thinking to myself, a phantom fox appeared. Greetings, Zozo. I am Phantom Fox, a spirit of swiftness. I know you are grieving the loss of the mystery sheep, but I have a task you must complete. Okay, I know the mystery sheep wanted me to make everyone proud, so I guess me carrying on getting stronger is what he would have wanted. The Phantom Fox led me toward another of Anubis's minions, an Endergast from the Jackal God's underworld. I ran towards it, prepared to fight, and readied my poison attacks. But I quickly found out that my poison had no effect on the Endergast. So my sword had to do, and with a few strong swings, I was able to defeat the ghastly minion.
Well done, Zozo. I know that the mystery sheep would be proud. He and all the other spirits are counting on you to defeat the one who turned on us.
You mean Anubis was once one of you?
Indeed, but he betrayed us and took control of the underworld, becoming its god. Now, he'll stop at nothing to expand his power up here and control everything that is, that was, and that will be.
From day 40 to day 43, I made my way back to my base in the Zelkova forest. I was still feeling sad about the loss of the mystery sheep, but a little better after chatting with the phantom fox. But any of my sadness quickly disappeared when I saw what awaited me. My friend, the guardian of the forest, had been working on improving my base to cheer me up. The place had been adorned with plenty of pretty banners draped over the walls to decorate the place. Wow, this place looks great! What made you want to go to all this trouble?
Well, Zozo, I knew you needed your spirits lifted after losing an ally, and by improving the look of our base, I hoped it might bring new allies to us so that we can honor the mystery sheep and stand up to Anubis once and for all.
Decorating the base clearly worked, because a little while later, a spider llama arrived looking for a place to stay, so I gladly let them join us. When the day was almost done, I was finally approached by the big axolotl.
Hey man, listen, I've got a favor to ask. I left some of my special netherite ingots back in the Weeping Witch Forest after my old home was destroyed. Think you could help me get them back?
From day 44 to day 49, I headed back to the Weeping Witch Forest to recover the netherite ingots that Big Axolotl had sent me to look for. He still seemed a little uneasy about heading back to where he'd used to live, just in case there were more of Anubis's desert mummies creeping around the place. So I agreed to take on the task. After all, Big Axolotl was a cool guy, and he'd made some really nice improvements to my base, so I thought I'd return the favor to my friend. But I hadn't made it far before Anubis came bursting out behind the trees to ambush me. I knew there was something creepy about this place.
There you are, pesky little poison lizard. You've been trying to get yourself stronger, and I can't have that.
Scared of my poison then?
On the contrary, I have more important things to do than waste my time on a little pest like you. For once I control both the overworld and the underworld, I'll be able to have full control over who lives and dies.
You can't do that. That'd make you a monster.
Oh, you want a monster? I'll show you a monster.
Anubis vanished, but left a powerful warped phantom in his place. I was about to have one heck of a tough fight on my hands against this monster. From day 50 to day 53, I defended myself against the Warped Phantom's attacks. Since it was a creature straight from Anubis's underworld, it could blast bolts of powerful undead spirit energy at me. I tried my best to fend it off, retreating deeper into the Weeping Witch Forest to try and regain my health and come up with a better plan of attack. But the Warped Phantom wasn't giving up the pursuit.
You can run all you like, little lizard. My master, Lord Anubis, has told me not to return until you are destroyed.
I used the cover of the trees to stay out of the Phantom's line of sight, sneaking around so that I could outflank it and take it by surprise. My plan worked, and I caught the Warped Phantom off guard and was barely just able to defeat it. But when I did, I noticed it had dropped something. It was a map with directions that led right to Anubis's pyramid. It wasn't a desert biome though, it was all the way over in the snowy taiga. Of course, Anubis might be the god of the underworld, but all his minions and mummies up here in the overworld are undead, so he must have needed to keep them cold. Now I knew where I could find that jackal-headed jerk when the time came to take him on. From day 54 to day 57, I did my best to find my bearings and get back on task to find the netherite ingots my friend Big Axolotl had stashed. But when I got to Big Axolotl's stash, there was a new problem blocking my path: a swarm of fire guardians. These things looked like they would be a tough fight, so I decided to use the same tactic that had helped me beat the Warped Phantom. I snuck up on them, and before they spotted me coming, I leapt into battle. I used my poisonous attacks, and they worked. The poison slowed the fire guardians down and allowed me to have the upper hand. One by one, I extinguished their flames, and after I defeated them, I looted the netherite ingots from the stash and headed back to the base to return them to my friend, and he was thrilled.
Oh, thanks so much, man. You hang on to them. I didn't really need them, but I thought they'd come in handy for you.
So that's why you sent me to get them.
Yeah, I told you before. We amphibians and reptiles have to look out for each other.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back at the safety of the base, I decided it would be best to stick around and work on improving things. After all, if the banners the Forest Guardian had put up were going to bring in more allies, then we'd need to be able to feed everyone. I used some wood to craft fences and expanded the chicken farm at the base, so that we had plenty of room for the chickens to lay loads of eggs for everyone. Who doesn't love eggs for breakfast? It was after I'd worked on expanding the chicken farm that I noticed the state of my iron armor. It had seen a lot of action, and all the bumps and batterings of battle had whittled away at its condition. This wasn't going to keep me protected for much longer, so I headed off back to the mine to search for something stronger. And sure enough, digging deeper, I found some diamonds. Bringing them back to the base, I turned them into a fresh new set of diamond armor and a sword and pickaxe to match. Now I had way more defense against Anubis's undead cronies, my sword could do much more damage against them too, and my new pickaxe would make gathering resources all the easier.
Zozo, behold our latest addition!
My spirit guide, the ghostly miner, showed me around the base's brand new party room. We could gather all our allies here, either to have a good time as friends, or coordinate who would be heading out on adventures, who would be gathering resources, and upgrading the base. Wow, this place is looking great! You must have been listening to Big Axolotl's interior decorating tips. From day 63 to day 66, the Guardian of the Forest had some suggestions for where I should head next.
You still have a ways to go, but time is on our side. While Anubis is regaining his forces and planning his next move, yours should be getting stronger. Head to the desert, Zozo. It can be a harsh place, but the heat there should invigorate a cold-blooded lizard such as yourself. And perhaps you will encounter some new challenges to improve your skills and grow your strength.
And so, I headed off in the direction of the desert. There didn't seem to be much there, mostly just lots of sand. It was coarse and rough, and it got everywhere, but at least here, there was plenty of sunlight to warm me up. All of a sudden, I was startled by an abrupt growling coming from nearby. I drew my diamond sword, trusting it could fight off whatever was coming. I was greeted with the sight of a wolfman, and expected him to be one of Anubis's allies.
Relax, friend. I mean you no harm.
Oh, that was surprising. It turned out the wolfman was friendly.
Actually, I've been looking for someone to help me with something, and you seem like just the lizard for the job. What do you say? You up for it?
Sure thing. I came here to get stronger, so let's get to it. From day 67 to day 70, the wolfman led me to an open plain in the middle of the desert.
You see, there's these pesky soul blazes. They attacked me and took all my armor and weapons. I have claw attacks like you, but there are too many of them for me to fight alone, especially without protection from armor. So what I need you to do is draw their attention while I grab my stuff. Then I can help you take the rest of them out.
So, when we spotted the soul blazes, I rushed straight at them. They all turned and charged towards me as I swung my diamond sword and started dishing out much more damage than ever before. Meanwhile, as I battled the soul blazes, my new wolfman friend used his wolf speed to get closer to his gear that laid on the ground. He hurriedly got it all on while I chopped at the soul blazes, and with our combined might, we reduced them to dust.
Awesome! What a great fight! You can really hold your own.
I'm glad I could help. From day 71 to day 74, I was in the snowy taiga biome, feeling much tougher than I had when I started. All the hype that the wolfman had given me made me think I was about ready to take on Anubis himself. I used the map to make my way toward Anubis's pyramid. It was way more accurate than some of the old wooden signs I passed. One of them said, "If you like this video, then you can find more by clicking on our channel or searching ZOZO." Once I'd made it closer, I started to feel strange, like I was maybe a little tired. But that all went to the back of my mind the moment I saw Anubis's pyramid towering over the rest of the frosty landscape. And I didn't have to get much closer for the underworld god to rear his ugly jackal head.
So you've come to give yourself up already, filthy poison lizard?
Nope. I'm a lot stronger now, Anubis. I came to give you a nice big dose of poison and stop all your crazy schemes.
You will try, I'm sure.
We clashed head on, and I took some swings with my diamond sword. But it felt heavier all of a sudden, and so did my armor. Like I was somehow weaker. Of course, it was the cold weather. This place wasn't just perfect for keeping Anubis's undead minions on ice, but the environment of the snowy taiga also made it harder for me to fight him. He dealt me some pretty bad damage, so I had no choice but to retreat for now. From day 75 to day 78, I made the long trek back to my base in the Zelkova forest. The whole time I felt glum. I had been so eager to take on Anubis, but in doing so, I had overlooked one of his major advantages over me. It didn't seem to matter how much stronger I got now, I would still be a poison lizard. And that was why Anubis had set up his pyramid in the snowy taiga. The longer I was in that place, the more dangerous it became for me, thanks to my cold reptilian blood. I didn't even feel like talking to anyone once I was back in the base. Instead, I just went to my room to be on my own for a while. Until, of course, the ghost miner materialized.
Zozo, don't be disheartened. There will be another opportunity to stop Anubis. For now, come and see. We've all been working hard to make some new improvements to protect this place.
I didn't really feel like it, but I let the ghost miner show me around. The base now had a tall watchtower reaching high up above the forest's tree line, so we could keep a lookout for any approaching danger. Even though I was feeling down, I had to admit it was pretty neat. Then, the big axolotl came to speak to me alone.
Hey man, don't worry. Nobody stays down in the dumps for too long. I got you this. Thought it might help. Consider it a thank you for all you've done for me.
Big Axolotl had given me a magic apple. It really did lift my spirits some more. I was lucky to have him as a friend, and even luckier when I ate the magic apple. I felt the magic from the apple transform me into a larger poison lizard, giving me 60 hearts and even a new power, a jump boost, so I could leap even higher on my reptilian legs. From day 79 to day 84, I was ready to pick myself up and try to take on Anubis again. My extra hearts would have made it easier to survive the snowy taiga, and now I had my jump boost. I could get up in the air right into his smug jackal face, and his attacks would miss me. When I made it back, there was no sign of him though, but a pack of thorn wolves tried to take some bites at me, so I showed off some of my newfound strength. They were no match for me.
My, very impressive.
I turned around to see a huge creeper spider. I kept my guard up, but then realized that if they were going to harm me, they could have used the element of surprise when I was fighting the wolves. Instead, the creeper spider offered to show me around the snowy taiga, teaching me a few tricks for staying warm while I was traversing this frosty part of the overworld. But best of all, they showed me how I could use some of Big Axolotl's netherite ingots. By combining them with my diamond sword, I had now made an even more powerful weapon, a netherite sword. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back to my base to tell my friends the good news, but I was shocked by what awaited me. There was a horde of desert mummies attacking the base. With no time to waste, I rushed into battle to defend my home and my friends from the bandaged baddies. Luckily, my blade of netherite cleaved through most of them with one swing. Seeing I'd taken their numbers down, the remaining desert mummies ran off into the forest. I couldn't let them get away. If they made it back to the snowy taiga, they could tell Anubis exactly where to find my base, and he'd send even more powerful mobs to harm my friends. I rushed after them into the forest. They were a ways ahead of me, and before long, my base had disappeared from view behind all the trees, and so had the desert mummies. Darn it, I had to figure out a way to stop them. While searching the forest, I came across a villager. Hey, have you seen any of Anubis's mummies go this way?
Oh, I have. Please get rid of those horrid undead things.
They pointed me in a direction, but the mummies who'd been causing the villager trouble were a different group. Still, they were Anubis's minions, so I thought it'd be better to take them out nice and quick. My netherite sword made light work of them, and then I kept up the trail of the others, hoping I could reach them in time. From day 90 to day 94, I had been following the desert mummies for quite some time, all the way to the snowy taiga. Oh no, it was too late. They'd be able to report back to Anubis about where my base was. I made sure not to get too close as they approached the Jackal God's pyramid, where they were greeted by a huge beast, a vile ogre.
Good job tracking that poisonous lizard. I will head to that base and destroy what's left on behalf of Lord Anubis. Go and report your findings to him.
Not so fast. I leaped out of cover and stood in the way of the vile ogre.
Ah, there you are. Lord Anubis will be pleased when I tell him you've been destroyed. Do you even know who you're messing with, Reptile? I'm Vile Ogre, Anubis's #1 henchman.
Tougher than my poison and netherite sword? From day 95 to day 97, my fight against the vile ogre started. He was bigger and stronger than me, but I had to remind myself that so was I. I'd come a long way since my humble beginnings, but even more importantly, I wasn't fighting just for myself this time. I was fighting to defend my friends who had all worked tirelessly to improve my base, who had helped me persevere when I thought Anubis might beat me, and who had been there for me at my darkest moments. They all deserve protecting, so every swing of my netherite sword or blast of my poison attacks was for them. Luckily for me, the vile ogre didn't realize just how familiar I was with the snowy taiga, thanks to the lessons I'd had from the creeper spider. I was able to use the landscape to my advantage, finding some higher ground that I could leap off of with my jump boost. It sent me high into the air and allowed me to get the jump on him, so to speak. I was able to give him one last strike with my netherite sword and a blast of poison to weaken him.
You bested me! How? How is that possible? Lord Anubis promised I'd be heralded in his new world!
He lied. You and I both know he's not the type to keep his word. He betrayed all the other spirits when he took control of the underworld. My poison will whittle away your remaining health in the next few minutes. Maybe think about using that time wisely.
Fine. Anubis resides in a chamber in the heart of his pyramid, surrounded by his undead armies. You'll never make it to him. You're just one lizard, all alone.
Who said I'd be alone? With the vile ogre defeated, I knew my time to take on Anubis for the final time would soon be at hand. But I was more determined than ever to beat him. I just needed a little help from my friends. On day 98, I made my way back to my base to see that my allies had already made repairs after the desert mummies had attacked. Since I didn't have to worry about repairs, I went to take a quick rest before the big battle. And just like that, the ghost miner appeared to give words of wisdom afterwards.
You've come quite a long way, Zozo. I am very proud, and the mystery sheep would be too.
Thanks. I couldn't have made it this far without such a great spirit guide. I won't let you down. I'll get to Anubis and put a stop to his plans once and for all. The guardian of the forest also had some wisdom to impart to me before I set off on the last part of my journey.
Remember, Zozo, that wherever you are, your true friend will always be with you. Even if we aren't by your side, we can still take us everywhere we go. We all live in the hearts of those that matter to us, and we care about you just as you care about all of those you've helped.
I'll remember. Thanks for everything. And last, but by no means least, my friend, Big Axolotl, seemed to get a bit emotional just as I was about to leave.
Just look after yourself, Zozo, man. You're gonna do great. Just make sure you come back in one piece. Oh man, I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
On day 99, I made my final return to the snowy taiga, prepared for a final showdown with Anubis. The forest guardian was right. I had all my friends with me, and I was fighting to keep them safe. Not just them, but everyone in the overworld. If Anubis got his way, he'd be in control of life and death, and I couldn't let that happen. Even to strangers, because they say a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. There was a huge horde of desert mummies waiting for me as I arrived at the pyramid. The cold was making them a little tougher than usual, but hopefully it wouldn't take more than a few strikes of my netherite sword to get through them. Suddenly, before I could get down to the fight, I was stopped by the Wolfman.
Come on, Zozo. Did you really think I'd leave this fight all to you? Can't let you have all the fun. Hey, nice new sword. That looks awesome.
Thanks, it's still pretty new.
You go on ahead, Zozo, my friend. I'll take these dusty old clowns. Go give that jackal jerk what for.
The Wolfman rushed in and led the desert mummies away as I ran in to confront Anubis. On day 100, I finally came face to face with Anubis at the center of his pyramid.
You accursed reptile! You really think you can put a stop to my plans? I am Anubis, god of the underworld, and soon the ruler of the overworld too. You are nothing, just a little lizard with no hope of defeating me.
You talk a big game, but you've been scared of me from the start. You tried to stop me from getting stronger at every turn. That tells me that my poison really can stop you.
Not if I destroy you first.
The final battle was at hand. Anubis came in quick with fast, powerful attacks, so I had to take up my sword to defend against him. He was ferocious. Part of me wondered if I could really beat him. My netherite sword was just enough to deflect his blows, but I couldn't get a good swipe in on him. He was just too quick. But I knew I had to stop Anubis once and for all. I leaped high into the air with my jump boost and launched the strongest poison attack I'd ever made. It blasted Anubis right in the face, and the poison started to immediately take effect. It chipped away at his health more and more, enough for me to jump back towards him and land a final blow with my netherite sword. I've done it! I survived 100 days and defeated Anubis once and for all! The overworld was saved from this jackal-headed jerk. I had fulfilled my destiny and, most importantly, protected all of my friends too. On day 1, I spawned in as a mighty dinosaur. Well, not really. I was pretty small and only had 4 hearts. I'm just a baby. I looked around and noticed there weren't any other dinosaurs around. And then I noticed I was in an enclosure with tall walls. Hey, that's no fair. I want to run around and be free. I ran around looking for a way out. I couldn't find anything. Just then, I heard a bell go off and I saw some food being lowered into my cage. I was hungry, but I still needed to find a way out. The food lowered to the ground and I ate all of it. Then I got a brilliant idea. I held onto the hook as it was brought back up to the edge of the wall. I jumped on the edge, free from my enclosure. Then I jumped off and ran toward the jungle. Dinosaurs are meant to be free. As I was running, I saw a human in a car trying to chase after me. He started shooting at me. Ah! I managed to jump over a large tree that had fallen down, but the car couldn't get through. One human threw his weapon down in anger and yelled at me.
We'll get you back. Mark my words.
What a weird guy. I found a little cave and decided to hide out there for the night. I would go looking around for more dinosaurs in the morning. On day 2, I woke up feeling very hungry. Man, I'm gonna need to find more food if I want to survive out here. I quickly began chopping down some trees and managed to make a crafting table. With that, I made some wood tools. I feel a bit more prepared now. I explored further in the jungle and found some sheep. I hurried and got their meat before they could run away. I really needed to gain my strength back. Yummy. As I was enjoying my food, I heard a snap of a twig. I turned and saw a small ocelot trying to hide behind some bushes. Hey, do you want some food? The ocelot peeked out and slowly came and grabbed some meat from me.
Thank you.
Of course.
What are you?
I'm a dinosaur.
You won't eat me, will you?
No, I won't. Have you never seen a dinosaur before? The ocelot shook his head.
I know that park over there has dinosaurs, but I've never seen one until today.
Interesting. I wondered what that park was all about and why there weren't any other dinosaurs on the island.
Thanks again for the food. You take care of yourself.
You too. He ran off into the jungle. I need to figure out what's going on here. On day 3, I gathered some more materials to make a little base. I knew that the humans would probably be back, and I wanted to be ready for them. Once the base was finished, I went out to look for some food. Boy, am I hungry again. I managed to find a bunch of sheep and tried to herd them back to my base. But then, a bunch of alligators came and started attacking me. Get back, you nasties! I used my sword and my pure strength to fight them off, and before I knew it, they were all gone. Just then, I felt a surge of power, and I grew into a teenage T-Rex. Hey, I have more hearts now. I finished gathering the sheep and led them back to my base. I hurried and set up a pen for them. What a good day. On days 4 to 5, I made my way back to the park to scout it out. Maybe I could learn more if I watched what the humans were doing. I was searching around and found some rusty shears. These might come in handy. Just then, I saw a bunch of humans driving toward me. I ran through some rocks and dirt hills to lose them, but they just kept following me. I roared at them, and the force almost toppled their car over. That's new. This caused one human to fall out of the car. The driver didn't stop and they left him. He got out his weapon and started shooting darts at me. Hey, stop it! I roared again, and the force made him fall over. I was starting to feel the effects of the dart. Ouch! I felt pretty woozy. What was that? The human pulled out a walkie-talkie.
Dr. Harland, I have subdued test subject A. Come to this location to retrieve him.
I couldn't let the humans take me, especially not this Dr. Harland. He sounded like bad news. I mustered up my strength and smacked the human with my tail, sending him flying over a cliffside. I gotta get out of here! The sleeping dart definitely was doing its job, but I managed to get back home before completely passing out. I'll have to find that doctor tomorrow. On day 6 to 8, I woke up, still feeling a little groggy. That wasn't super fun. I need to be sure not to get shot again. I went out and grabbed some food before heading out to gather more supplies. I needed some better weapons to defend myself. I went further into the jungle and spotted a small mountain. I started to mine out some of the materials and set up a crafting table to make myself a new stone sword, pickaxe, and shovel. Nice! I was about to make my way further up the mountain when I saw some little jaguars hanging out. They're kinda cute. But that was short-lived because they started to jump and bite at me. Come on, guys, I'm not food. They didn't back down, so I used my new sword to fight them off. It only took a minute before I defeated them all. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I would look like Swiss cheese. I ate some food to heal, and I headed further into the jungle. On days 9 to 10, I journeyed past the trees to the edge of the island. It was beautiful.
Too bad there were humans trying to hunt me down. Just then, I heard a screeching of tires and saw a car coming towards me. Wow, I was just thinking about the humans, and then they show up. Maybe I have superpowers. I started to think of it raining sheep and nothing. Well, it was worth a shot. I started to run away from the car, but they caught up to me pretty quick. The guy I had seen earlier who had thrown down his weapon was inside. He must have been Dr. Harland.
You can't run away from me now. You're mine.
Go away! The car soon caught up to me, and the humans had me cornered. Ah! A heavy iron cage made out of chains pinned me down.
Thank goodness for that tracker. We didn't realize it was attached to you until later because Jones never came back. But at least he did his job right.
Dr. Harland plucked something off my leg. It looked like a dart, but then I noticed a little blinking beacon. That human, Jones, must have shot me with a tracker a few days ago. I felt so silly. I don't belong with you. I belong out in the wild. Dr. Harland just laughed. I was confused and desperate. I needed to get out. Just then, I felt a whoosh of air, and part of the cage was broken. I saw a blur of pink whizzing past me.
Run, Zozo!
I ran, following the pink blur back toward my base. When we finally stopped, I realized the pink blur wasn't just a blur. It was another T-Rex. The dinosaur jumped down from behind cover and scared me. I knew there were other dinosaurs on the island. I'm Zozo. The dinosaur smiled at me.
I'm Zoe. I'm your sister.
Sister? Wait, back up. What?
We're twins. I was put in a different enclosure though. I heard that you escaped, and everyone was freaking out, so I took my chance when they went looking for you and climbed out as well. They really need to work on their security system.
But hey, good for us though, right?
Right.
So, you're super fast? Zoe nodded her head and zoomed in a circle, demonstrating her speed.
What can you do?
I don't know. Am I supposed to be able to do something? Zoe looked a little uncomfortable.
No, not really.
Oh, wait! I can move things with my roar. It's like a sonic power. I showed it off.
That's really cool.
Do all dinosaurs have powers like us?
No, I guess we are just special.
Zoe seemed like she wasn't telling me something. I was going to ask her what she knew, but then I heard her stomach growl. Hey, how about I get you some food? You must be starving.
That'd be great, actually. Thanks.
We went to the farm and ate until we were both full. Zoe must have not eaten for a long time because she had double of what I had. How about you live here? It's safe, there's plenty of food, and I'd love for you to stay with me. Zoe looked really happy about that, and she readily agreed.
Sounds like a plan.
On days 11 to 12, I made an area for Zoe on the base. I worked hard to give her everything she would need in order to be comfortable. Soon, it was all ready to go. She seemed really happy to have found me, and I was happy to be reunited with the sister I never knew I had. I decided to go exploring a little bit to improve the base and the weapons that I had. While I was out, I came across a flock of birds nesting on some stones. They were beautiful looking woodpeckers. Hey, could I have some of that stone? They seemed friendly enough, but then out of nowhere they started pecking at me. Seriously? I tried to smack them, but they kept flying and then dive bombing me. I need to get out of here. I ran into the trees, hoping to get some coverage. They stopped attacking, but I really needed that stone. What am I gonna do? I looked around the jungle and noticed some long vines hanging from the trees. I had an idea. I gathered some of the vines, a couple small sticks, and a bunch of rocks. This should do the trick. I snuck back to the rock formation and attacked them with my new weapon, a slingshot. Take that! It worked perfectly, and before I knew it, all the birds were gone. Nice! And I have some food to take back to Zoe. I gathered the bird meat and started mining out the rocks. It took a while, but I finally got enough to make some new furnaces. This is awesome! I headed back to the base and showed Zoe my new weapon. She was super impressed and even asked if I could make her one. I happily agreed. She was super excited and shot with the slingshot towards the lake. Once that was done, I used some wooden logs to build a wall surrounding the base. It was all starting to come together. On days 13 to 15, I had a weird dream. I was back in the park, but it looked like I was in a lab of some sort. People were poking and prodding at me. I saw Zoe and she was chained down. Let her go! Then the dream changed and Dr. Harland was there. He was presenting us to a large crowd of humans. He had trapped us in enclosures and we were chained. The humans stared and laughed at us. It was horrible. I woke from the dream with a start. Whoa, that was terrible. I went to go find Zoe. I told her about the dream and asked her what it meant. She hesitated.
We are lab experiments, Zozo. We aren't natural dinosaurs. Dr. Harland grew us in the lab, giving us special abilities.
Why would he do that?
He's not just a doctor. He also owns this entire park over there. He genetically engineers dinosaurs for human entertainment.
That's awful.
But you and I are special. He made us specifically for a new exhibit he's working on.
This was a lot to take in. We were being hunted by an angry doctor and his goons. It felt like the odds were definitely against us. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to find that Zoe wasn't in the base. Zoe! I looked everywhere and called out to her, but I couldn't find her. I wonder where she went. I looked around the entrance and noticed some footprints. They looked a lot like mine, but were smaller. These must be Zoe's footprints. I followed them, leading away into the jungle. They stopped at the mouth of a cave. Oh no, I hope Zoe's okay. I tried to quietly creep in the cave, my slingshot at the ready. I heard some muffled screaming, along with some maniacal laughter. That doesn't sound good. I went further down, and I saw Zoe. She was all tied up. There was also a monkey tied up next to her. Around them were a bunch of big, hairy spiders. Oh, gross! I charged, shooting rocks as I went. The spiders looked alarmed and tried to scurry away, but I managed to fight them all off. I hurried and freed Zoe just as she yelled at me.
Zozo, look out!
I turned around, and there was the biggest spider I had ever seen in my life. Granted, I was only a few days old, but still.
You're taking my dinner.
That's my sister. She's not food. I slung some rocks at the huge spider before charging at him. He smacked me with his legs, and I was nearly down to my last heart when I remembered my roar. I let out a big roar. The force made the spider fall over. I then attacked with my tail and weapons, and within no time, he was gone. Victory is mine! All of a sudden, I felt power course through my body, and I leveled up into an adult T-Rex. Nice! I had way more hearts, and my tail could swing faster now. I helped finish freeing Zoe and the monkey.
Thanks for rescuing me. I'm Crew.
I'm Zozo. I looked over at Zoe, and she was shaking. Are you okay?
That was so scary. I went out this morning before you got up, and I was ambushed by those spiders. I tried to roar, but they tied my mouth closed before I had a chance to call for you.
I'm glad I found you. Being spider food wasn't really a part of my grand plan. Zoe laughed and Crew joined us.
You're from that park over there. I knew there were dinosaurs, but nobody has seen any.
Yeah, we managed to escape Dr. Harland, but he is kind of crazy. He wants to bring us back so he can make money off of us and all the other dinosaurs.
That's awful. How many more dinosaurs are there?
We don't know, but they don't belong in there. We need to help them escape. Crew thought for a minute.
I might be able to help out with that.
Really? How?
This island has been inhabited by dinosaurs before, a really long time ago. There was a T-Rex like you guys that had a special item that could ward off the humans.
That sounds awesome. Do you know where it is?
No, sorry. Legend says it's on the island somewhere, but nobody has found it.
This was good news. Maybe we could make the humans leave for good. On days 20 to 22, Crew came with us to the base. He seemed to really like us and wasn't scared like most animals were. He was also really funny and would ride on our back sometimes. Once we got back to the base, we tried to get settled in, but then a bunch of jaguars showed up, trying to get our sheep. Hey, there's enough food for all of us. You don't need to steal from us. They didn't listen and just continued to attack. With our combined strength, the jaguars were gone in no time. We made some improvements to the base, including a treehouse for Crew to hang out in. He really seemed to like it. Hey Zoe, would you want to help me with something?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I want to make a statue. I want the humans to know that they can't mess with us, and I want all the dinosaurs to know that there is hope to be free.
That sounds awesome, Zozo.
We chatted about the design and started on the base of the statue. Can you tell what it's going to be? Also, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here on our adventures. On days 23 to 26, I woke up to the base being attacked again. They broke through the wall. I guess the jaguars had some reinforcements and didn't like that they couldn't get to our sheep. Come on, guys, really? Zoe and Crew joined me, and with their help, we defeated the jaguars in no time. I noticed that one of them had dropped something, so I picked it up. It was an iron sword. Whoa, neat! I swung it around and nearly jabbed Zoe with it.
Hey, watch it!
Sorry! I looked around the base for a minute. Maybe we need to make some changes to the base so that it's safer. Zoe agreed and we went to work. We worked on expanding the walls and making our own areas larger. We ran out of supplies pretty quickly, so I headed out to gather some more materials. I also would really like some more iron so that I can have some better weapons. I explored for a minute before finding a large cave.
I delved deeper and deeper until I found some iron ore. Perfect! Just then, a bunch of bats came out of nowhere and tried to swarm me. Ah! I hurried and started smacking them with my new sword. The last few that evaded me, I shot with my slingshot. Nice! I really like having a sword. I mined the rest of the iron and hurried to craft myself an iron pickaxe, axe, and an iron helmet. This will be perfect. I left, still feeling accomplished. I had a new weapon and a new tool. I felt like I was on top of the world. On days 27 to 31, I went to Crew to chat with him about the special item that would help me defeat the humans. He was chilling in his treehouse. I was too big to fit, so we just talked from a distance.
Well, the legend says that thousands of years ago, many dinosaurs lived on the island in peace. Then one day, the dinosaurs saw a boat approaching. They had no idea what it was, so they didn't fear it. But then the humans landed, and they began to immediately attack the dinosaurs. They took over the island and started to chop down all the trees and pollute the land. One T-Rex, his name was Ignatius the Great. He sacrificed his most prized possession to the volcano gods in order to gain the legendary item to ward off the humans.
What was the item exactly?
It was an amulet that granted him awesome power to grow to 10 times his size.
Whoa, that is awesome!
Right? So he used the amulet to defeat the humans and protect the dinosaurs.
So what happened to him and the amulet?
I'm not sure exactly. That's all I know.
What an interesting story. I hoped that it was true. It could be the answer to all my problems. On days 32 to 35, I thought some more about what Crew said. I really need to find that amulet. And if it's on the island, how hard can it be to find it? I decided to look around for something significant that could possibly help me. While I was venturing further into the island, I came upon a group of ocelots. One of them recognized me.
Hey, it's that dinosaur that helped me get food.
He ran up to me and started talking to me. His family seemed a little reluctant, so they stayed further back.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the amulet that was lost on the island. Do you know anything about it? My little ocelot friend shook his head, but his dad piped up.
That amulet corrupts all who hold it. You don't want it.
Why do you say that?
The dinosaur that held it, Ignatius the Great, began to use the power to unfairly rule all of the dinosaurs. The volcano gods were angry, so they willed the volcano to erupt, taking out all the dinosaurs.
That's awful.
Well, that's what happens when you mess with power you shouldn't have. I couldn't agree more.
I flipped around to see Dr. Harland. How did you find me?
It's not that big of an island. I knew I would find you eventually.
I tried to run away, but Dr. Harland shot a dart at me. It got me right in the leg, and I immediately felt woozy again. Oh no, I can't pass out again. Everything was starting to get fuzzy.
It's okay. We'll take care of you.
Then everything went dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up back in my house. Hey, how did I get back here? I went outside and saw the ocelot family hanging out with Zoe.
Look who's awake.
My little ocelot friend ran up to me.
Zozo, you're okay.
What happened?
Dr. Harlan shot you and then you passed out. We worked together to move you. We met your sister outside. She had been looking for you and was worried. She helped us to carry you in.
Wow, you guys are the best. Thanks.
No problem.
I don't even know all of your names. The ocelot officially introduced himself as Marty. The rest of his family had M names as well. Melissa, Mo, Miley, you get it.
Now that you're feeling better, how about we make some room for our new friends?
Sounds like a plan. Zoe and I worked on making an enclosure for the ocelots. I could tell they were scared to be living out on their own. By the time we finished, I could tell they were really happy about it. I decided to talk more with Marty's dad, Marvin, about the legendary amulet. I asked him where it might be, and he shook his head.
All I know is that the legend says it was buried with Ignatius somewhere on the north side of the island. That's where his home was. Everyone claims that he was wearing the amulet when the volcano erupted.
Interesting. I would have to travel a long way to go looking for it. But before I went back out, I got to work on the statue. It was coming along pretty great. I was excited to finish it. So, was your guess right? On days 40 to 43, I went out to go looking for more iron since I hadn't found that many deposits nearby. I went north and found a pretty big cave. As I entered, I saw a bunch of snakes slithering around. Not today! I quickly shot them with my slingshot, hit them with my sword, and also used my roar to send them flying into the lava. I was starting to feel really powerful. I journeyed deeper, and sure enough, I found a huge deposit of iron as well as coal. I made myself a little crafting table and set up a camp for myself in the cave. With the iron I had collected, I made myself all new tools and weapons. I am the mightiest of T-Rexes! Nobody can stop me now! On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the north side of the island in search of the amulet. I was tromping through the jungle when I heard a scream. I snuck forward to see a bunch of alligators who had trapped a toucan. It looked like they were about to eat her. Hey, stay away from her! I tromped out from my hiding place and the alligators snapped at me. I guess they didn't like me intruding on their dinner plans. They started to attack me, but with my sonic roar and powerful tail, they were gone in an instant.
Thank you, mister.
I'm Zozo.
I'm Greta. I thought for sure I was going to be alligator food.
Well, I'm glad I was around.
I've been hearing about the dinosaurs on the island. What brings you over here?
I'm looking for the lost amulet of Ignatius the Great.
Oh, that's a tricky one, that is. It's supposedly here on the north side of the island, but...
What?
Well, it's kind of complicated to explain. I think it would be easier if I just showed you.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. On days 50 to 53, I followed Greta further into the north side of the island. We were about to enter a clearing when Greta stopped me. Is that chanting?
Yeah.
I looked through the trees and saw a temple of some sort. There were a bunch of other toucans gathered around something on a pedestal. Hey, they have the amulet!
Wait, Zozo!
I didn't listen, and I tromped through the trees toward the birds. They immediately squealed in delight and started bowing. What's going on?
Oh, great and mighty one! You have heard our call, and you have come to retrieve what you have left behind.
I looked on the pedestal and noticed that it wasn't an amulet. It was is that a foot?
Yes, great Ignatius, it is your foot. We have been saving it for you.
I looked behind me and saw Greta was super embarrassed. These must have been her family members. The crazy side of the family, no doubt. Yes, I have been missing my foot. Thank you for taking such good care of it. They continued bowing as I went up and grabbed the foot. It was definitely from a T-Rex. My humble toucans, where did you find my foot? One hopped forward eagerly.
Oh, yes, we found it over here.
We journeyed on a path leading toward a large rock formation.
The foot was just sitting right here, oh holy one.
Thanks. Do you mind if I look around?
Do as you wish, great one.
The toucan left, and Greta flew up a moment later to rest on my shoulder.
I should have warned you. I don't come around here anymore because they are all a bunch of crazies. I mean, who worships a foot?
I just laughed. It's fine. It was exciting to say the least. I began digging at the rock formation, and sure enough, I found more bones inside. This must be Ignatius. Yes. We managed to uncover all the bones, but there wasn't an amulet in sight. If he wasn't wearing it, where did it go?
All the stories said he was wearing it.
This was beginning to feel like a wild goose chase. I gathered all the bones, and we headed back toward the base. On days 54 to 57, Greta and I made it back to the base. She didn't want to be with her crazy family, understandably, so we made a little nook for her. She seemed to really like it.
Hey, Zozo.
It was Crew. He came over to me. What's up?
I'm running a little low on food. Do you think you could grab me some more bananas? There's a tree nearby with some in it, but there are also some spiders in there.
No problem. I went to the tree Crew was talking about and immediately saw the swarm of spiders. Yuck! I used my slingshot to make them fall out of the tree, and then I attacked them. They were no match for my roar, and soon enough, they were gone. Sweet! Now Crew can have all the bananas he could want. I used my roar to make the bananas fall out of the tree, and I gathered them for my friend. He was ecstatic to see all the food I had gotten for him.
Wow, thanks, Zozo. Wait here for just a minute.
Crew went to work. In his treehouse, he started mixing a bunch of ingredients together in the mixing basin. And before I knew it, he had a big loaf of banana bread for me. Where did you even learn to bake? And where did you even get a mixer?
I have my ways. Here, hope you like it.
I ate it, and it was actually delicious. Yum. Thanks, Crew. He jumped up and down in delight.
No problem.
On days 58 to 62, I worked on the statue for a little bit. I was nearly done when I heard a scream from down below. The base was being attacked by some humans. Oh no! I hurried to run down to the base and noticed that all my friends had been shot with sleeping darts. The humans were trying to take them away. "You let my friends go!" I roared with all my might, and the humans focused their attention on me. They tried to shoot me, but I dodged them. I managed to take out a few of the guards and then went to chase the rest away. They got scared of me and ran off. Good riddance. I hurried to help my friends get back to their homes when I noticed that Zoe was missing. Zoe! I looked outside the base and I saw her lying on the ground. She didn't look too good. Zoe, let's get you inside so you can sleep.
They didn't hit me with a sleeping arrow, Zozo. They hit me with a real bullet.
What? Why?
I heard one of Dr. Harlan's men say that they just needed one dinosaur for the exhibit. You. So I charged him, and he shot me.
Oh no. Zoe!
It's okay. The hunter that shot me, Brett, said that they were going to get the amulet from its secret hiding place.
Zoe weakly handed me a map.
They dropped this. Hurry, Zozo. Take care of the rest of the dinosaurs. Protect the island.
And with that, my sister died. No! On days 63 to 66, I used the map that Zoe gave me to track down Brett. They won't get away with this. I traveled to the north side of the island again, past the temple and down into a large cave. There didn't seem to be anybody around, but then I saw a pool of water with a large glowing squid in it. There were a bunch of humans attacking him. Stop hurting innocent creatures! The men jumped in surprise as I attacked them. In only a matter of seconds, they were defeated.
Thank you, Ancient One.
Of course.
I knew you would all be back someday. It was only right that the dinosaurs ruled this island again.
Do you know where the amulet is? The squid nodded and pointed down further into the tunnel.
I'm afraid the rest of the humans have already started heading down that way, though.
How did they know to look for you?
Dr. Harlan was my friend. When he came to the island, he discovered me and studied me. I told him of the amulet in the cave, but he wasn't interested in it at the time. It wasn't until recently that he wanted to retrieve it. I guess he didn't want a chance you finding it and overpowering him. He ordered his goons to destroy me.
I'm so sorry. That must have been heartbreaking.
You can't trust those humans. They only want power. They'll do anything to get it.
I'll go retrieve it.
Good luck to you, friend.
And with that, the squid swam further into the pool and disappeared. On days 67 to 70, I went deeper into the cave, which then opened up into a huge underground chasm. This must have been Ignatius's lair. Then I saw Brett and some other goons grabbing a chest from an alcove. That doesn't belong to you. Brett dropped his chest in surprise. He turned and sneered at me.
It don't belong to you neither.
I charged, ready to strike. The men got out their weapons, ready to shoot.
Don't hurt him, just put him to sleep. The doc wants to save him for later.
I managed to dodge all the darts, and I used all of my strength to swing and hit the humans. I finished off his men, and then went to attack him. Brett looked a little uneasy as I got closer, so then he pulled out his dart shooter.
I don't want to hurt you, dinosaur, but I will if I have to.
He fired his weapon, and it wasn't sleeping darts. It was a stun blaster. Ouch! Electricity pulsed through me and I fell down, hard.
Just give up. It'll be easier.
Then I blacked out. On days 71 to 74, I woke up, my bones and body aching. Then I remembered, the chest. I looked in the alcove and it wasn't there. Shoot, Brett must have taken it while I was out. I felt awful as I made my way out of the cave and up into the jungle again. It was super slow going to get back home, but eventually I made it. On days 75 to 78, I entered the base. I was so exhausted and just wanted to be alone, but my friends came running up to me.
Zozo, you're okay. We were asleep, and when we woke up, you were gone. Where's Zoe?
I told them all about what happened, and they stood in shock.
We are so sorry, Zozo. Zoe was a really good friend.
I felt awful. I told them I needed to rest, and I went into my house for a little while. It wasn't until I heard screaming and shouting. I hurried to run outside, only to find Brett in the base, trying to shoot my friends again. What are you doing here?
I need your blood, dinosaur. Give it to me.
Ew, gross. No! I roared at Brett, causing him to fly backwards into the wall. I smacked him with my tail and sword, easily defeating him. I then felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a full-size T-Rex. My roar could demolish anything, and I had tons of hearts.
What did he mean he needed your blood?
I have no idea, but that was definitely creepy. I looked and saw that Brett had dropped some things. I was hoping it was the amulet, but it was just a key card and a painting. The painting had some glyphs of humans shooting a dinosaur with a dart shooter and then growing to be huge. Have you seen anything like this?
No, it just looks like something the old humans must have left. They probably just thought that defeating a dinosaur would grant them power.
I guess Brett thought so too. Probably why he came back to hurt me.
Creepy.
I looked at the key card a little bit more closely. It had the park symbol on it and a label saying Site B. What is Site B?
The park is Site B. Site A is the abandoned site down the hill.
There's two?
Yeah, Site A was abandoned because it was too small. Now it's just storage.
There must be something important in there if Brett has a key card to it.
Must be.
On day 79 to 84, I traveled to Site A to go exploring. I was hoping the key card for Site B would work here too. As I approached the front gate, I took out the key card, put it in the key card scanner, and the gate clicked open. Nice! I followed the path and arrived at the main building that rose through the jungle, high into the sky. I slowly went inside the building and saw lots of boxes and cobwebs. The place looked like a mess. This place has been completely abandoned. I explored the building and saw an interesting roller coaster through the window. It goes straight through a dinosaur skeleton exhibit. What in the world was happening in this place? All of a sudden, I heard a noise from a back room. I approached and looked through the window, only to see an alligator looking through the cabinets. I wonder what she's doing. Then she saw me and charged at the glass. She then opened the door and ran towards me. I quickly backed up and she snapped her teeth at me.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking to see if there was anything that could help me defeat Dr. Harland here. What are you doing here? The alligator looked at me. She paused for a moment and started speaking slowly.
I'm also trying to get to Dr. Harland. He's been running tests on my family in order to make new dinosaurs. I need to rescue him.
We can work together. Have you found anything useful here?
Yeah, there's some sort of weapon downstairs, but it's too heavy for me to carry. Maybe you can carry it.
I started to go down the stairs toward the control room. As I was about to enter, I felt something push me down the stairs. It was the alligator. Hey, what was that for?
You aren't supposed to be here, dinosaur. You've been extinct for years, and now you just expect to rule the whole island? The alligators are the real predators here.
She snapped her teeth at me and almost got me. Hey, I'm just trying to survive here. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. She ignored me and kept snapping her teeth. I backed up and then used my roar to push her back. I hit her a couple more times, and then after only a minute, she was gone. I wonder if there was anything down here or if she was just lying. I looked around the room, and sure enough, it was mostly just trash. Then I noticed a trapdoor. I was too big to go all the way down, but I did notice some diamonds and other materials, but they were out of reach. I looked around, and there were a few more diamonds just laying in the corner of the room. These will definitely come in handy. I grabbed them and headed back to the base. I would definitely need some help scouting out the rest of the secret room. On days 85 to 89, I went back to chat with my friends about what I had found.
Wow, I knew that the alligators on the island were super territorial, but that's just crazy.
What weirdos!
I know, right? But would one of you come with me back to the room? I can't fit down there, but I would like to see if there is anything else of value.
Yeah, sure.
Crew and I headed back to Side A, and he checked out the secret room. He came up in a few minutes, super excited.
There's a tunnel, and it looks like it leads into the Site B park.
This was great news. Now I just needed to figure out a way to fit down there. Crew explored some more and said there was a bigger tunnel opening near the river. That's perfect. I'll go in that way once I'm ready. On days 90 to 94, the monkey gave me the diamonds and I used them to craft myself some better weapons. I didn't really have enough diamonds to make armor that would fit me, so I just made weaker diamond armor with a few chunks missing from the armor pieces. It would be enough to cover my weak spots. I tried it all on, and I actually felt really cool. Not only am I a strong dinosaur with superpowers, I now also have some protection. I knew that I was one step closer to defeating Dr. Harland and freeing all the dinosaurs. On days 95 to 97, I finished the statue. It is in honor of Zoe. As I looked up at the finished statue, I felt a sense of hope and strength. I knew that I would get the amulet and fulfill my destiny. On day 98, I said goodbye to all my friends before heading out. Take care, you guys. I'll be back. I promise. They cheered me on as I left the base and headed out to the park. On the way there, I noticed a plane overhead, and it was dragging a sign in the sky. Subscribe? Hey, that sounds like a good idea. You should do that so you can follow along on some of our other adventures. On day 99, I went to the river where the tunnel opening was. I broke the bars and headed inside toward the park. It was dark for a little while, but then I started to see light. The tunnel led to an enclosure with all kinds of other dinosaurs. I approached the gate and roared to break it open.
Whoa, it's the T-Rex!
They all gathered around me.
Are you gonna free us?
Yes, this tunnel leads to the outside world. I'll go open up all the other enclosures so that we can all be free. The dinosaurs whooped in delight, and then a bunch of darts started flying. The humans came out of nowhere and started shooting at us. Run, you'll be safe! They all started running into the tunnels as I roared at the humans. I trudged through the park, defeating the guards easily. I continued to the other side of the park. On day 100, I was loose in Jurassic Park. There were a bunch of humans running around in panic. I tried not to step on them. I just wanted to find Dr. Harland. Then, out of nowhere came a bunch of humans with weapons. They shot, but I dodged and roared and swung my tail at them, sending them flying in different directions. They quickly ran away, and I continued through the park to the big building in the center. I smashed through the doors, and sitting on a pedestal was the amulet of Ignatius. I went to grab it, but I felt a dart hit me. I flipped around and saw Dr. Harland with a large shooter.
Come quietly, and I won't hurt you.
No! I grabbed the amulet and felt a huge surge of power. I turned into a giant T-Rex with massive teeth and a mighty tail.
So be it.
Dr. Harland backed up into the lab and closed the door. I heard some whirring, and then he appeared in a large robotic suit.
I didn't want to hurt you, but you have ruined my park. You are a liability now.
He shot at me with some tough shooters, but they didn't hurt me as much since I was so powerful. However, he soon started throwing bombs at me, which were not so easy to avoid. We exchanged blows, and I almost thought that Dr. Harland was about to end me. Ah, that hurt! Ha! I dodged that one. You will not take me down that easily. Take that!
Ah, you dirty lizard! That hurts!
But I was also doing some damage. I could tell some of my roars were hurting his mech because sparks started flying. Finally, his mech started smoking. Now I was doing some real damage. Then I used my sonic roar and sent Dr. Harland flying. The suit crumbled into pieces, and Dr. Harland was finally defeated. I made my way throughout the rest of the park, releasing all the dinosaurs back into the wild. They all seemed super happy. Once we all reached my base, I saw my friends cheering for me. Life was back to the way it should be. On day 1, I spawned as a golden hydra. Whoa, this is amazing! I looked around and noticed that I was in some sort of cave. I ventured out and immediately saw some scary dread knights.
There he is. Catch him.
No thanks. I scurried away, the men following after me.
You come back here.
They started shooting darts at me. Ah! One dart hit me and I lost some hearts. Wait, I only have 5 hearts? This is insane! I hurried and tried to get away, but the men were too fast. They surrounded me as I felt my eyes start to close.
Perfect. Everything is coming together.
And with that, I passed out. On day 2, I woke up in a cage. Oh, where am I? I looked around and noticed that there were more cages around me, but most of them were empty. I almost didn't notice the frog sitting in the cage nearby. He blended in with the floor really well.
I was waiting for you to wake up. Come on, we gotta get out of here.
But how? Even if we can get out of the cages, I don't know how to get out of the prison.
I know a way out, but you need to be the one to unlock the door.
I looked closer and examined the gate. I began to hit it with my heads, but that started to make me feel dizzy. The frog laughed at me.
Oh, no, use your fire spit.
Fire spit? I did what the frog said, and I spit at the lock. But it wasn't fire, it was golden little orbs. I left the cage and started firing away at the frog's cage until it opened too.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. I'm Zozo, by the way.
I'm Freddy.
Freddy and I made our way over to the exit and broke through the door, up the stairs. We were home free. On day 3, Freddy and I hurried as fast as we could away from the underground prison. While we were running, I spotted some pigs and chickens and hurried to gather their meat before they could scamper away. I gathered up their meat and shared some with Freddy. We both chowed down.
Thanks, Zozo. And I gotta say, that prison break was amazing. I didn't know you could spit gold.
Neither did I. In fact, I didn't know much about anything, except that some evil guys were after me. Freddy and I agreed to go our separate ways. I went further into the forest to explore. Maybe I would find some other hydras.
Little Hydra.
I turned and saw an old troll walking slowly up behind me. He looked hurt.
Would you mind helping me? I was attacked and need to get back home before it gets dark.
Of course. We slowly made our way to his home, a little cottage next to a river.
Thank you, little Hydra. Please come inside so that you are safe. There are all kinds of monsters outside.
The guy seemed nice enough, so I stayed with him for the night. On days 4 to 5, I woke up in the troll's house. He had cooked some stew for both of us. Thank you. What did you say your name was?
I'm Horace, just a poor old troll trying to make his way in the world.
Horace seemed better than yesterday, but still very tired. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Actually, I'm more concerned for your safety. You are the Golden Hydra after all.
The Golden Hydra?
A prophecy was given many years ago by a great seer. She said that a Golden Hydra would be born, and it would be his destiny to either save or destroy the land.
Is that me?
I believe it is.
What should I do?
Build yourself a safe house, gather materials, strengthen yourself as much as you can. You need to be at your best.
Horace gave me some stone tools and a full stack of oak planks.
Use these to start. I hope to hear from you, little Hydra. Be careful who you trust.
I left Horace's house to find a good place to start a base. I found a nearby lake on the plains with some nice level ground. I used my stone tools to gather additional material and started working on a modest Japanese-style gold Hydra base. It may have only been one building for me so far, but there was plenty of room on the plains for this base to expand with more buildings and features. It was all coming together when I heard some men yelling.
There's the Hydra! Get him!
It was more of those evil Dread Knights! Not today, you goons! I spit my orbs at them, and they all turned to gold. Oh, wow, that is not what I expected. Just then, I felt power rush through me, and I grew into a larger Hydra. Now I have 11 hearts. Nice! I'll beat whoever controls those Dread Knights in no time. On days 6 to 8, I ventured from my base to gather more information. Also, I wanted to see if I could find more creatures that needed shelter from the mysterious villain and his men. I came across some tortoises who immediately tried to run away. Hey, I'm a friend! They looked at me warily.
You aren't working with the sorcerer?
No, a sorcerer? Is that who's commanding all the Dread Knights? I have nothing to do with him.
Look, kid, it would just be better if you left this land. It's not safe for you.
The tortoises slipped away, leaving me confused. I decided to go back to Horace's house to ask him about it.
A great sorcerer has purged this land and intends to use your power for his purposes. He will stop at nothing to get you.
That's awful. What should I do?
There is a cave nearby that has some armor and tools that we could use. I was on my way there the other day when I was attacked. That's a good place to start.
Sounds like a plan. On days 9 to 10, I hurried to the cave that Horace mentioned and went to explore. Sure enough, there was a chest hidden behind some rocks. Just as I was about to open it, a great hairy spider came rushing out. Ugh, gross! He attacked me, and I was too slow to spit my golden orbs. I took quite a bit of damage. Ouch! I hurried and slithered from the cave. This is too hard. I can't defeat him by myself.
Hey, are you trying to get rid of that spider too?
A wolf came out from behind a tree. Yeah, I am. Why do you want him gone?
He took some of my armor. I'm trying to keep myself safe from the sorcerer's goons.
Me too. Maybe we can work together. We came up with a plan and went back down to the spider's lair. The wolf distracted him, and I shot my golden orbs at him. He turned immediately into a gold statue.
Wow!
We gathered the materials in the chest, and I gave the wolf the reptile armor.
Be careful out there.
Zozo.
Zozo. I'm Lex.
Thanks, Lex. Take care of yourself. On days 11 to 12, I returned to Horus. At first, he was happy, but when I told him that I'd given Lex the armor from the chest, he got really mad.
The other animals don't matter, little Hydra. What matters is that you're strong.
He was acting really weird, but I couldn't blame him. He was probably scared of the sorcerer and just wanted us to be safe.
You've done well, but this isn't enough. Now you must travel to the Black Forest and gather more strength potions left there by wizards of yore. This is important, little Hydra. Don't trust anyone besides me. Defeat anyone who stands in your way.
I left the house, wondering why Horus didn't want me to trust anyone else. He was probably just paranoid. As I made my way to the Black Forest, I saw some more of the sorcerer's goons traveling along the river. I tried to be quiet and slither away, but they spotted me.
It's the Hydra! Grab him!
I dodged some of their darts and shot my golden orbs at them. They tried to escape, but after a few shots, they were all statues. Nice! I soon reached the depths of the Black Forest, hoping to gather the potions Horus wanted. On days 13 to 15, I plucked up the courage to enter the sinister Black Forest. At first, there didn't seem to be anyone there, but I kept looking, wanting to find those potions. After just a few moments, I saw a family of hoglins gathered around a campfire, harmlessly warming themselves. Why does Horus want me to defeat these hoglins? They seem really nice. I slithered in, and the hoglins were taken aback. I don't mean you any harm, I'm just curious if you have any armor. The hoglins were cautious, but one answered me.
Are you going to try to steal it from us like the others?
Others? What others?
A sorcerer's men. They have tried to steal it before. They want all the armor taken away from the creatures in the land, so they can't fight the sorcerer.
What? That didn't seem right. I needed to talk to Horus about this. On days 16 to 19, I traveled back to Horus's house. I arrived, and he seemed happy to see me. But when I told him I couldn't get the strength potions from the Black Forest, he immediately turned angry.
Don't you know what's at stake? You needed to get those potions. You need to get stronger.
Why is it so important that I'm stronger?
You are not fulfilling my expectations. I need to think this through.
He told me to leave. I did, more confused than before. When I arrived back at my base, Freddy Frog was there. Hey, buddy, it's been a while.
Zozo, I'm so glad you're okay. I heard that you met the sorcerer. How did you survive?
What do you mean? I haven't met him.
All the creatures have seen him hiding out in the woods. He's disguised as a simple old troll.
Wait, was he talking about Horus?
I heard he's planning an attack with his goons today. He's going to the village in the plains.
I had to see for myself if this was true. It couldn't be Horus, could it? I went with Freddy to the village in the plains like he said. When we got there, I saw the goons being led by a very recognizable troll. I looked closer and realized it was Horus. You manipulated me. Horus turned toward me.
Oh, Zozo, you gullible little Hydra. You are too quick to trust, but you've been a hindrance. Time for a change of plans.
You had no right to do that to me, and you have no right to steal from innocent creatures and people. I charged at him, spewing golden orbs. He easily outmaneuvered them, and with his powerful swing, threw me back into a building. Before I knew it, I blacked out. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with Freddy looking down at me.
Oh, good. You're awake. You need to help the villagers.
I got up and followed Freddy to the village. Some of the buildings were on fire. Everyone, move away from the buildings! I hurried and spewed my orbs at them, extinguishing the fires. It was definitely not what the villagers were expecting.
Whoa, this is amazing! How can we repay you?
It might not be safe here anymore. You can all live at my base with me. I have lots of room. The villagers talked amongst themselves for a little while, then readily agreed. We made our way to my base and then gathered some needed supplies for the new houses. It was hard work, but in no time, everyone had a house of their own.
Thank you, Zozo. These look amazing.
On days 23 to 26, I went back to the cave where I originally spawned. It must have been important, so I figured that I should investigate. I entered the cave and it seemed very normal. I was hoping to find some sort of clue as to who my parents were. It had been a crazy couple of days, and even though I had friends, I wondered if I had family. All of a sudden, I heard a noise coming from deeper in the cave. I explored further and saw another HYDRA, but she was being attacked by a group of skeletons. Get away from her! I slithered down and started shooting the skeletons. Within just a few moments, those bags of bones were gone. I turned to the HYDRA, but then I felt a power surge through me. I grew, and then I leveled up into an adult HYDRA. I now have 18 hearts. I let out a large breath of golden fire.
Zozo?
The HYDRA looked scared of me. No need to be scared. Who are you?
I'm your mother.
My mother? I'm so glad I found you. Where did you go?
I laid an egg and went to find some food, but when I came back, you were gone. I was so worried about you.
How about you come live with me? I have a base and it'll be much safer than this cave. She happily agreed, and we made our way in that direction. On days 27 to 31, as my mother and I left the cave, we happened upon Freddy again.
Hey, Zozo, do you think you could help my family?
He directed me toward a small alcove nearby that had been broken apart. What happened?
The sorcerer's goons tried to break our alcove after we refused to leave. We managed to escape before anyone was hurt, but we don't have a home now.
The frogs looked very sad, so I offered to build them a new home on my base.
Really? That would be great. Thank you so much.
With the frogs and my mother in tow, we continued on our way to my base. Once we arrived, we got straight to work, building a pond for the frogs and placing down a bed for my mother. I also noticed that the villagers had planted crops and gathered some animals. I even made a nice path connecting all the buildings. Thanks, guys. You've done some great work here. It was all starting to come together.
I will get that golden HYDRA if it's the last thing I do. He is the key to all of my plans. What would you like me to do, Master? I want you to follow him. Make sure he is met with challenges. He needs to reach maximum strength by the full moon. It's vital that you do this. Yes, Master.
On days 32 to 35, I wanted to return to the underground prison where Freddy and I were held. If Horace wanted to befriend me, why did he capture me in the first place?
That's a good question. Maybe there are some answers at the prison.
I asked Freddy if he wanted to come with me, and he readily agreed. We made our way down the tower where we had escaped, and noticed that there were iron golems standing around this time. That's new, and they don't look like they work for Horace.
I wasn't expecting you to come back here.
I flipped around to see one of the iron golems standing right behind me. Are you one of the guards?
Not exactly. I bartered with some of Horace's goons that are corrupt. They agreed to give you to me as a bargaining chip. We weren't expecting you to escape so quickly, however.
So you're not my enemy. You just want to sabotage him.
Basically.
So...
Perhaps we can make an arrangement to stop him.
what do you have in mind?
I'll be in touch. I have some research to do. Just look out for a message from Puck the Honorable.
Honorable? You captured my friend Freddy.
Sorry, what can I say? I like frog legs.
I heard Freddy gulp behind me.
Don't worry, I won't eat your friend, but we'll be in touch, Zozo.
And just like that, he left, without even saying goodbye. Not very polite, but okay. On days 36 to 39, I went venturing into a nearby cave to find some iron ore that could help buff out my equipment. After I found enough, I built a furnace, smelted some iron ingots, and finally made myself an iron sword, iron pickaxe, and some armor. Cool, looking good. I went digging deeper and even managed to find some diamonds. Yes, jackpot! This will be great for some upgrades. Before I could start crafting, I heard a noise and something hit me. I turned and saw a skeleton moving around, trying to shoot me again. I spewed my golden fire breath at him. Nice. The skeleton froze, but not before dropping his bow. I picked it up and realized it was enchanted. Infinite arrows. Sweet. I returned to my base with the supplies and the bow, hoping to upgrade some of my items and the houses. One of the villagers approached me.
Zozo, do you think you could help me with something?
Sure, what is it?
Bradley, and it's about our home. I thought I had gathered everything when we came here, but I left something important there. Would you come with me? I don't feel safe going by myself.
Of course, let's go! On days 40 to 43, Bradley and I ventured back to the village on the plains. We hurried to the house to grab his item. What is it you needed so badly? He rummaged around his room under his bed and then whooped in victory.
Got it!
Is that a paintbrush?
Yeah, it's my lucky paintbrush.
Are you serious?
It's important to me.
I shook my head. What a weird kid. But hey, at least he has it now. All of a sudden, I heard a noise outside. Shh, I think there's someone here. I looked out the window, and sure enough, there was some of Horace's goons rummaging around. But they weren't alone. They were being led by a terrifying yak this time. We tried to sneak out quietly, but Bradley made a noise and they spotted us. Smooth move, Bradley! The goons charged at us, and I started to spew golden fire. Within just a few moments, we had nearly taken out all of the goons. The henchman just stood, watching us. Then after a moment, he ran off with the remaining men.
Coward!
We looked around and noticed the goons had dropped a few healing potions before I had frozen them into gold. Nice! Now we have a little bit bigger of a potion stash, just in case.
Sheesh, that was awesome!
Was the paintbrush worth it, Bradley?
Absolutely.
On days 44 to 49, Bradley and I traveled back to the base. Once we arrived, I found a note on my door. Puck the Honorable sent me a message to meet outside my base near the river. It didn't take me long to find him.
I've been doing some research about Horace and his plans. I think that if you are able to create a certain item, you can overpower Horace.
Great! What is it?
An amethyst sword. It's the one thing that will harm Horace, even if he reaches the full extent of his magical powers, and it may just save your life.
What do I need to do?
You'll need to gather 2 amethyst crystals and a stick. That's all you'll need to make it. Though I can't promise those crystals won't be guarded by an incredibly dangerous mobs.
Great. Sounds like a walk in the park.
What? You expected saving the world to be easy?
No, I just wish I hadn't been duped by Horace in the first place.
Don't beat yourself up, kid. You'll get the hang of it.
Puck handed me a paper with some instructions on it.
This should help you.
And just like that, he left. Again. I need to tell him it's polite to say your goodbyes. On days 50 to 53, I followed the instructions Puck gave me to find the crystals. It said to go to a cave and consult with the ancient being. I realized that it had led me back to the cave where I had fought the giant spider. As I entered, I noticed that the spider was still there, frozen in gold. He must be the ancient being. I wonder if there's a way I can reverse it. I went up to the spider and tried to shoot an orb at him. Nothing. A fire breath, and also nothing. Then I tried to punch him. Suddenly, he turned back into his normal self. He looked down at me angrily.
How dare you freeze me?
I'm sorry. I was manipulated by the sorcerer to steal your items. But you did steal some of them from the wolf. He softened a little.
I did. I was desperate and needed extra protection. Clearly, it did not work. What do you want?
I was told that you have information about amethyst crystals.
Yes, I was once a guardian of a great multitude of crystals, but I was forced to leave when the cavern was ambushed by an evil warden. It has been a great many years since then.
Can you show me where it is?
I cannot. When I desired to go back, it was no longer there. Some sort of shifting due to magic.
I thanked the spider and left the cave. It was just another dead end. On my way back to the base, I noticed more of Horace's goons fighting a wolf. Hey, that's Lex. Maybe he'll want to help me. I approached as he finished the goons off. Hey, remember me?
Zozo, you're alive!
Yeah, I am, and I'm trying to defeat the sorcerer. I could really use your skills. Would you want to help me?
I don't think I can, Zozo. I'm good at fighting his goons, but he's too powerful. I think you'd be better off on your own.
Before I could even argue, he ran off into the distance. Well, that was underwhelming. Maybe he'll change his mind. On days 54 to 57, I went exploring a little more. I found myself close to where I had found Horace that first time. I wondered if he was still at his house. I decided to investigate. When I got closer, I heard voices.
The master needs some items taken to him. Make sure they get there safely.
It was the henchman I had seen earlier, the yak! He had a few goons, and he was dragging some chests of things. It seemed like a good opportunity to attack. Hey, coward! The henchman turned toward me.
You just can't get enough, can you?
He sent the goons forward to attack. I maneuvered around them easily, and within a few moments, most of them were gold statues. The henchman got mad. Before I knew it, he attacked me. Ouch! How is he so fast? I felt my heart's dwindling. He slashed at me again, faster than any other human I had encountered. I tried to breathe my golden fire at him, but it was in vain. I need to get out of here. I hurried and slithered away, retreating into the bushes.
Look who's the coward now.
The henchman ran off. I didn't dare follow him. I was too weak and needed to go back home. If I can't defeat just one henchman, how am I supposed to defeat a sorcerer?
He managed to take out a few of your men, Master, but he could not withstand my blows. He is not even close to being ready. Yes, he is weak, but he will get stronger. Just keep attacking. Send out as many men as possible. They're disposable. Will do, Master.
On days 58 to 62, I made it back to my base. I was met with a much-needed surprise.
Zozo, we made you something, sweetie.
My mom led me to the edge of the base. Whoa, is this a statue of me? It was a HYDRA, but it wasn't completely gold. It was more of an orange color.
Actually, it's a statue of your father.
My father?
I wanted to tell you earlier, but I didn't know if you were ready. He died right before you were born. He was trying to protect us. He couldn't wait to meet you, Zozo.
I looked up at the statue. It's amazing.
It's not done yet. We still need some more quartz for the teeth. Would you like to help us?
Of course. I headed to the desert where I had previously seen some ruins made out of quartz and collected those materials for the statue. After giving the quartz to Mom, she quickly added the teeth to the statue, and now it truly looked magnificent. On days 63 to 66, I woke up to someone calling my name. I went outside. It was Lex. Hey, Lex, what's up? I went back to that cave with the spider, and to my surprise, he wasn't a gold statue anymore. Oh yeah, I should have warned you. No harm done. He actually told me that you were looking for a cavern with amethyst crystals in it. I think I might actually know where that is. Really? Show me. Lex led the way to a small desert. We finally arrived at what looked like a rock formation with a door. Great, let's just push open the door and head inside. We tried to push, pull, and roll, but the stone didn't budge. I even tried my golden fire on it. No luck. Maybe there's a special combination or code word? Maybe, but I have no idea what it might be. It was disappointing, but now I knew where it was. At least I could come back to it later. Let's head back. How about you stay with us? You don't have to be alone, Lex. He sighed. I know, I was wrong and scared, but I know you're our best chance at stopping the sorcerer. Thanks for not giving up on me. Of course, that's what friends do. Lex smiled and we headed home. On days 67 to 70, Bradley approached me again.
Hey, Zozo, do you think you could help me with something else?
Is it another paintbrush, Bradley?
No, actually. I wanted to practice shooting with the bow I have. Do you think you could help me with some target practice?
Of course. Where did you have in mind?
There's actually an archery area near my old house. Maybe we can even bring some of the stuff back to the base.
That sounds like a great idea. We headed back toward Bradley's old home. When we got there, we noticed some movement outside the houses. Hey, those are the tortoises I met earlier. They told me to take a hike.
Maybe we should go.
Then I noticed the tortoises were fighting each other over some food. I approached carefully. Hey, friends, remember me?
Ugh, you again. We don't need your help, HYDRA. You're just making things worse for us. The sorcerer and his goons have driven us out of our homes, and now we hardly have food.
The leader came toward me and snapped his teeth. I don't want to hurt you. He snapped at me again, and I had no choice but to spew golden fire at him. After he turned into a statue, I punched him. He quickly came back to life, looking surprised.
Why did you do that?
Like I said, I'm not here to hurt you. In fact, we would love for you to stay at our base. It's safe, and there's plenty of food. There's no need to fight each other.
Thank you, HYDRA. We are in your debt.
On days 71 to 74, we made it back to the base. This time, we were met with an unwanted surprise. My mom rushed out to us.
Zozo, they're attacking the base. We need your help.
I slithered over and saw the yak and his dread knights waiting for me. Hey, you don't belong here. The henchman looked at me and, just like before, attacked in a flash. I still wasn't strong enough, but I knew I needed to protect my friends. Using all of my strength, I let out the largest burst of golden fire I could muster.
Not bad, HYDRA, but not good enough. Come and find me when you are ready. I'll be waiting with your precious friend.
And before I knew it, the henchman left. I had managed to statuefy his goons, but he escaped again. Wait, what did he say about a friend? I slithered inside as fast as I could and realized that my mother was nowhere to be found. Mom? Mom! He took her, and I had no idea where she went. I retreated to my house, blind with rage. And then I started to cry. This was all too much. How was I ever supposed to defeat anyone like this? I stayed in my house for a while, not letting anyone in. Finally, after a long time, I heard a knock at the door.
Zozo, it's Lex. We have something to show you.
I reluctantly left the house, not wanting anyone to see me like this. But they needed someone, and I needed to be strong for them. Lex showed me that they had fixed up the crops, bred the animals, and improved the security by building some walls. Great! Thanks, Lex.
That's not all.
He turned me toward the statue of my dad, and I realized there was a smaller version next to it. It was of my mom.
You'll get her back, Zozo. We believe in you.
I didn't know what to say. I just nodded.
And you are sure he is getting stronger? Yes, Master. He is almost to his full form. Excellent! Then the plan is working. The mother will eventually bring him to us. Good work. Thank you, Master.
On days 75 to 78, Puck the Honorable left me another note. I met him at our customary spot next to the river.
Hello again, Zozo.
What do you want, Puck?
Someone's in a hurry. I have important information and a gift for you. I hear you are having some trouble with Horace's henchman. I have some important information. His whereabouts. He actually lives very close to Horace. It's a bit hush-hush, but I have my ways.
He handed me a map, and I went to grab it.
Be careful, Zozo. You don't know what you'll find there.
Give me the paper, Puck.
Do not lose yourself along the way. Remember what you are fighting for.
I know what I'm fighting for, Puck. My mom has been taken by those creeps, and I intend on saving her. Then I'm going to put the henchman and Horace in their rightful place. Puck handed me the paper.
Good boy. Now go get your mother back.
On days 79 to 84, I raced to the henchman's house. If there was a chance he had my mom, I was going to find her and defeat him once and for all. I followed the directions and found myself outside of a large wall. Inside, it was a modest-looking house. This is where the henchman stays? Quite a cozy home he made for himself. I snuck around to see if he was inside, but I didn't see anything. Suddenly, I felt a gust of wind. The yak was standing right behind me.
Come to retrieve your mommy?
Coming after me was one thing, but involving my mom was a step too far.
Your mother gave you everything, and you still can't save her.
I'm going to beat you, Yak, for her! I felt a power grow within me, and I leveled up into a fully grown HYDRA with 50 hearts. I got bigger, stronger, and even gained the claw strike ability.
No, this isn't what was supposed to happen. Horace promised me I wouldn't be defeated by you.
Be careful who you trust, henchman. And with a swipe of my claws, I defeated him. He burst into golden sparks and was gone.
Zozo!
I looked and saw my mother coming toward me. She'd managed to escape. Mom, did he hurt you?
I'm fine. I'm so proud of you. Look at how strong you are. You look so much like your father did. I'm so glad you're okay.
Come on, Mom. Let's get you back home.
Oh, and before we go, I found this while I was imprisoned. I figured you might want it.
It was a golden key. On days 85 to 89, my mom and I arrived back at the base. Everyone was so happy to see my mom, and they ushered us over to the statues.
We almost finished it while you were gone, but we wanted you to put on the finishing touch.
Freddy handed me a few glowstone blocks, which I added to my dad's statue, completing his fire breath. It was perfect. And I have more amazing news, Freddy! The golden key my mom found at the henchman's base. I think it's literally the key to getting into the Amethyst Crystal Cave. The henchman and Horace must have known that the Amethyst sword could foil his grand plan. That's why he had the key to unlock the cavern. I've got to get over there now! I rushed out of the base toward the desert. As I arrived at the door, I felt my heart leap. This is it. It's finally coming together. I used the golden key to open the door. Here I go. I made my way down the dark tunnel, which eventually opened up into a cave system. Inside were hundreds of glowing amethyst crystals, all being watched over by a warden. This isn't going to be easy. I got right behind it, and before it knew what was happening, I let out a large burst of golden fire. He let out a terrible scream, but he didn't turn into a statue. I took a swipe at him with my claws instead. This time, he screamed in agony. I kept swiping, avoiding his blows as best as I could. My hearts were dwindling, but after just a few more moments, the warden was gone. Yes! I hurried and collected as many amethyst crystals as I could hold before hurrying out of the cavern. Time to end this, Horus. On days 90 to 94, I exited the cavern, blinking in the sunlight.
Nice to see you again, little Hydra.
I looked and saw Horus standing right in front of me. I was about to swipe him into oblivion when his magic froze me in place.
Please, none of that. I just want to talk.
I stared at him. What could you possibly want to talk to me about? You've gone out of your way to torture me.
Don't you see, Hydra? I have strengthened you. You have become the golden Hydra of the prophecy, all thanks to me.
You had nothing to do with it.
Oh, don't even think for a minute that you would have accomplished anything without me. I made sure that you had difficulties so that you could learn. I made sure that you would eventually get the potion that would bring you to full power.
You sabotaged your own henchman?
He was disposable at best. But think of what we can do together, little Hydra. We can rule this land together. Of course, it'll need to be destroyed before it can be built back up. But we can accomplish that if you follow me.
Never.
This is your last chance. Watch the world burn around you before I possess your mind or willingly serve me.
I hissed at him.
Very well.
Somehow, Horus made all my amethysts that I'd worked hard and suffered to collect all disappear.
Be sure to be at your best by the full moon, little Hydra. In the meantime, enjoy my wrath.
I heard Horus laughing, and then it all went dark. On days 95 to 97, I woke up to pitch black. Where am I? Horus must have buried me underground. I looked at what I assumed was up and started to dig. It wasn't too deep, but by the time I saw sunlight, I was exhausted. I'm getting really tired of him. I tried to catch my breath, but then I noticed a note on the ground next to me. It read,
Say goodbye to your honorable friend.
My blood turned cold as I raced toward Puck's dungeon. No, please don't let me be too late. When I got there, the whole place was demolished. I looked around, hoping to find anything, and I heard a groan from beneath some rocks. Puck! I moved the rubble and saw him on the ground. He was in really bad shape.
I guess Horus figured out who my sources were.
You're going to be okay, Puck. Let me help you up. Puck coughed.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. Go, protect your mom and your friends. He's heading to your base next.
And with one last breath, Puck the Honorable passed. I let out a giant roar as I mourned my friend, but I had to get to my base. I needed to stop Horus before he caused any more destruction. On day 98, I arrived too late. What was once my base was now in ruins. I ran around frantically. Mom, Lex, Bradley, Freddy! I didn't hear anyone answer. I slumped down and was about to give up when I heard a small voice.
Zozo?
I looked up and saw my mom limping towards me. Freddy limped alongside her. Mom! Freddy! Where is everyone else?
A lot of them didn't make it out, Zozo. Bradley and Lex managed to run and hide with me, but nobody else was fast enough.
We're lucky to be alive.
I let out another loud roar in agony. Puck was gone. All the villagers and tortoises were gone. I had tried so hard to protect everyone, and I had failed. I felt my whole body slump.
Hey, everything is going to be fine. Do you know why?
Why?
You are the Golden Hydra, and you are going to put a stop to Horus and his destruction.
Mom slipped me something. It was a key.
Horus dropped this before he left. It must be to his base.
I looked at the key in shock.
You are going to get back your amethyst crystals, finish the amethyst sword, and you will put a stop to all of this. Promise?
Promise. On day 99, I headed to Horus's base. It had massive black walls, and inside there was a huge tower raising high into the sky. I carefully entered the front wall gate. To my surprise, the courtyard was completely empty. I explored a bit and located a back door, probably for the goons, and I used the key to get inside. Freddy, you're the best. I snuck up the passageway and went to open the door to the main chamber. A Dread Knight spotted me immediately. It's the Golden Hydra. I quickly took him out. So much for being stealthy. I was a Hydra after all, a golden one at that. It was hard to keep a low profile. I opened the chamber, and to my surprise, only Horus stood inside, smiling at me.
Did you really think it would be that easy, Hydra? But at last, you're a day early. What exactly was your plan here?
Give me back the amethyst crystals, and nobody has to get hurt, Horus.
No.
I was prepared this time. I smacked him back with my claws and grabbed for the crystals. Before he knew it, I was down the passageway.
Stop that, Hydra!
I made it back to my base and hurriedly crafted the amethyst sword out of the 2 amethyst crystals and a stick. It was time to defeat Horus once and for all! On day 100, I made my way back to Horus's base. Perfect, a dramatic ending, just like I wanted. Horus was waiting for me outside. Are you ready for your reign of terror to finally end, Horus?
You're exactly where I want you, Zozo. When this battle is over, I'll take control of your body and use you as just another tool to take over this world.
Not if me and the amethyst sword have anything to say about it. This time, I wasn't playing around. He fired a magical energy blast at me, but I was so strong now, I tanked it and ran right in.
Oh, no, I may have made an error here.
But the time for talk was over. I ran in and hit him with the amethyst sword again and again, weakening him a little more each time. He unleashed his guards on me, but they were taken care of quickly. Many sword swings later, when Horus was on the edge of defeat, I stopped attacking and stepped back for a moment.
You can't win! I am an all-powerful sorcerer!
Silence is golden, Horus! With one blast of my golden spit, Horus was turned into a harmless golden statue forevermore. At long last, the creatures of the overworld can breathe easy again. On day 1, I spawned into the treacherous wooded badlands as a tiger snake. Whoa, this has got to be one of the weirdest creatures I've ever seen. Shame that I've only got 10 hearts though. I started slithering around, trying to figure out what exactly it meant to be a tiger snake. But my exploration was interrupted by the sound of someone hacking down trees. Uh-oh, they sound strong. Boom! A huge bandit warlord burst from the tree line. He was so scary, and he didn't look like he was here to wish me a good morning.
Oi, what do you think you're doing, mate?
I'm not sure I was doing anything. I'm Zozo. I just got here.
Do my eyes deceive me? Are you some kind of snake tiger?
Technically a tiger snake, but pretty much.
That's not fair. Combining a tiger and a snake? That's OP, mate. I can't let that stand. So me and my oogly boogly boys are gonna have to chop you into pieces.
You'll have to catch me first. I slithered away as fast as I could, which, lucky for me, was actually really fast. I managed to outrun the bandit warlord by weaving through the badlands, but he wasn't the only one after me. I saw barbarians running behind me, trying to catch me. They were fast, but I was still faster. If those guys caught me, I knew I'd be doomed. In the end, I was able to get away by the scales of my teeth and hid. I'd figured out why the bandit warlord and his oogly boogly barbarians wanted to kill me in the morning. On day 2, I started to further explore the wooded badlands. So a gang of really scary dudes are after me, and I don't really understand why. I've got to think my way out of this, but it's hard to think when hunger is nearing. I slithered around until I found a nice apple tree, which I used my tiger snake strength to knock down, collecting all the wood and yummy apples. Love the apples, love the crunch, but what am I gonna do with all this wood? That's when I had a brilliant idea. I'd use that wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and start mining myself some stone. With that, I made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And I couldn't have had better timing, because a barbarian suddenly appeared.
Yeah, there you are. We've been looking all over for you. If I'm the one to destroy you, the bandit warlord will promote me to second in command. I'll be way better than that jerk, the brigand.
Sorry to rain on your career aspirations, barbarian, but I'm not gonna let myself be a step on anyone's ladder. I attacked him with my stone sword, slashing away. It was a tough fight, but before I knew it, I defeated my first enemy. Maybe the bandit warlord was right. I might be a little OP. I spent the rest of the day mining more stone and building myself a basic house with one room and a bed, so I could finally get some rest. On day 3, I decided to go exploring, seeing if I could find some more materials in other biomes. That's why I slithered into the beautiful cherry blossom forest. Wow, this place is gorgeous. I kind of regret not starting to build my base here, but I soon found there was a good reason why I shouldn't have made my base there. It was home of the bloodthirsty brigand, one of the bandit warlord's deadliest henchmen.
So you're the tiger snake. When the warlord told me about you, I was expecting something much more impressive. Not just a sad little malformed freak.
Oh, you're so going down for that, dude! But as much as I wanted to defend my honor, the brigand was just too strong. I couldn't fight him. I could only give up, turn around, and run away to survive. That was so embarrassing. I can't believe I got defeated like that. I still need to get so much stronger.
I believe I can help you there, young warrior.
Who said that? I turned and saw a majestic desert wolf step out from between the trees.
I sense greatness in you, Zozo. I am a guide to those with the potential to be warriors for good and justice. With my training, I believe you can become as strong as you are meant to be and bring an end to the bandit warlord's empire of fear.
That sounds like exactly what I need. Come back to my base with me, Desert Wolf. We'll talk more there. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with the Desert Wolf. I decided to build him a house right next to mine so he could come and talk to me anytime he liked.
I find your eagerness to begin your training to be incredibly encouraging, Zozo. Thank you for building me my own room.
Of course, Desert Wolf. Just let me know if you need anything. I left the Desert Wolf alone to meditate in his room, but while I was chilling outside, admiring the construction work I'd done, another barbarian came running towards me.
Tiger Snake, I will annihilate you in the name of the bandit warlord!
But thankfully, he didn't annihilate me. Instead, I pulled out my sword and annihilated him. When he was gone, he dropped a bow and a few arrows that I picked up. Finally, I have a good long-range attack. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to build a little pen for my sheep so that I could collect wool later on. Afterwards, I returned to the wooded Badlands in search of some sheep. Sheep would be perfect. It's so cold this time of year. I could really use some wool. After over a day of searching, I found a flock of sheep and shepherded them back to my base. While I was out in the Badlands searching for even more sheep to shepherd, I ran into the worst possible person I could run into, the bandit warlord himself.
So you must live in the wooded Badlands. Good to know. Though you won't be living here for long, or living at all, cause I'm gonna destroy ya.
Not so fast, warlord. I'm armed. Check out my cool new bow.
That is certainly a cool bow, Zozo. How does it compare to mine?
That's when he pulled out a crossbow and shot out a fully loaded firework, and all I could do was run. And as I was running away, he kept firing explosive bolts at me. This is bad. I need to get out of here. Lucky for me, slithering in a serpentine maneuver came naturally. I was able to escape without getting hit, but I knew that the next time I faced him, I might not have been so lucky. From day 9 to day 10, I returned to my base, feeling beaten and battered by my one-sided battle against the bandit warlord. But when I returned, I saw something incredible, the start of a statue. I couldn't tell what it was meant to be yet, but just looking at it filled me with surprise and awe. Wow, I wonder what it's going to be. What do you think? If you can guess, give me a hint in the comments. I immediately ran over to my friend, the Desert Wolf, to ask how this had happened.
I felt as though you needed some inspiration on your grand quest, Zozo. It isn't easy to have the weight of the world bearing down on you. I thought a monument to a certain phrase would help you see straight.
Thank you so much, Desert Wolf. I feel so lucky to have you on my team.
The statue isn't the only thing I've done. I made a few base upgrades, a new house complete with a storage room and a training room. They should come in handy along your quest for victory against the bandit warlord.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome! I can't even begin to tell you how helpful that'll be. This day just keeps getting better and better. From day 11 to day 12, the Desert Wolf and I were hanging out in the training room. I was working on improving my fighting and slithering skills, while Desert Wolf gave me his sage advice.
Villain you are up against is full of insecurity, Zozo.
What do you mean by that?
He and his band of brutish barbarians rule this land through fear. Nobody is brave enough to stand up to them. But those who rule through fear walk on thin ice. The second people stop fearing them, their rule crumbles.
So that's why he's worried about me being OP. If I make it look like he's not so scary anymore, he won't be able to rule over all his bandits.
Exactly.
This battle is not just one that must be won physically. It's a battle of the mind. You've already rattled him. Keep going. Keep getting stronger. And eventually, you will ensure that his empire of cruelty and fear falls.
From day 13 to day 15, I was ready to start putting my new knowledge and training to good use in the Cherry Blossom Forest. I needed to be scarier than the bandit warlord, and the best way to send a strong message was to take out one of his toughest henchmen, the brigand. I made a beeline for where I first saw him, and sure enough, he was there, still looking as mean and smug as ever.
The weird little freak of nature is back! Did I not kick your butt hard enough before? Guess I've gotta show you your place all over again.
All you guys love to talk and talk and talk about how cool and tough you are. How about you put your money where your mouth is?
Okay, weirdo, let's do it!
I crossed swords with the brigand, taking him on with all my might. This time, I had the strength of my goal behind me, and when the dust had cleared, the brigand was defeated, and I'd won the day. I feel like I'm stronger than ever. Wait, what's that weird feeling? I'd gained enough XP to level up. I got bigger, stronger, and suddenly I had 30 hearts. But that wasn't all. I'd gained a new power, the ability to stretch myself and look longer. I bet this could come in handy somehow. From day 16 to day 19, still feeling confident after defeating that evil brigand, I decided it was time to treat myself to an equipment upgrade. That's why I hunted through the wooded badlands until I found the perfect mining cavern. I bet they'll have some iron down there. I ventured deep down into the mine until I found a rich vein of iron ore that was ripe for mining. I dug it up and collected as much iron ore as I could, then started to leave the cave. But I wasn't alone down there. I saw some freaky old Forsaken blocking the exit. There were a lot of them, and I didn't feel like taking the risk of taking them all out at once. I slithered through them and escaped the cave, heading straight back to my base. There, I used a furnace to smelt the ore into ingots and made myself a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. That was a risky trip, but it paid off. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up with the desert wolf standing at the foot of my bed.
Zozo, it is time for you to prove your mettle once again.
What? What's happening?
Your enemy, the bandit warlord, is at the gates. He's here alone. I believe he wishes to defeat you.
Well, I better go and see him. I slithered out of my room and saw the bandit warlord standing right there. He looked scarier than ever, with his sword and his firework crossbow. I didn't know if I could win this fight.
Hello, Zozo. Fancy seeing you here, right? I was trundling along, looking for a weakling to destroy, and as luck would have it, the very weakling I wanted to destroy fell right into my lap. I should buy a lottery ticket after this.
Are you sure that you're so lucky, warlord? Or is it all just talk?
Attack me and find out, wimp.
I didn't want to. Even with my new hearts, I didn't feel confident that I could win in a one-on-one fight with the bandit warlord. But I had another potential plan. Okay, we'll fight. But first, let me enter my ultimate power form. I used my stretching ability to make myself look huge. That's when the bandit warlord started to look nervous.
On second thoughts, I left the laundry out. And I'm expecting a delivery at the bandit base. Rain check, I'll destroy you another day, Zozo.
The bandit warlord ran off. My plan worked. I'd intimidated him. In that moment, I realized there were more ways I could win than just with raw power. Just like the Desert Wolf said, it's a battle of the mind. From day 23 to day 26, I was tidying up around my base when I spotted a frontiersman cap on the ground. Oh hey, someone must have dropped this here. I'll just try it on. When I put the cap on, I felt faster all of a sudden. I felt sneakier. I think this cap increases my sneak speed. This is awesome! I hope whoever lost this doesn't miss it too much, because this is gonna be a huge help. I decided to double check around the spot where I found the cap, just in case there were any upgrades I missed. I didn't find any, but I did find a note. It says, "Don't forget to search ZOZO for more amazing adventures." Sounds like pretty good advice. From day 27 to day 31, the Desert Wolf came to see me.
Zozo, I have something of the utmost importance to show you. I have made an addition to the statue.
I followed him to the statue, and I still couldn't quite tell what it was, but it looked pretty good. This is really coming together.
I am honored you think so, and yet something troubles me. The statue seems incomplete. What would you suggest?
That's a great question. I think it could use a little bit of crying obsidian. It's pretty great, but that'll give it the extra spark it needs.
A wise choice, indeed. You have risen to the challenge once more, Zozo. You traveled to the oasis to gather some.
Yeah! So I ventured out to the oasis. I was just exploring and minding my own business when I encountered one of the oogly boogly barbarians.
In the name of the bandit warlord, I'm here to destroy you!
I'd prefer it if you didn't. He attacked, but I held my own, and I was able to defeat him. Once the barbarian was taken care of, I was finally able to do what I had came to the oasis to do in the first place, gather some crying obsidian. This will make a great addition to the statue. From day 32 to day 35, I was getting ready to leave the oasis when an anxious-looking serval came scurrying up to me.
Hi. Sorry, excuse me. Hi. Are you Zozo, the one who's been beating up bad guys all over the place? Sorry, that was rude. But are you?
That's me. What's up?
Well, I'm sorry to bother you, but my friend, the desert rabbit, he's in danger. A wraith came through here earlier and kidnapped him. But if you're too busy to help, don't worry about it. I don't want to be a bother.
You're not a bother. I'd be happy to help. Let's go and get your friend back.
Oh, thank you. The wraith took him to the space nearby. Follow the path and you'll find it.
From day 36 to day 39, I followed the serval's directions to the wraith's space. I've seen better. My base is way cooler than this one. I guess crime doesn't pay.
Hey, who's the jerk stomping around outside my house and talking smack?
The wraith floated through the door to confront me. Me, I'm the jerk. I mean, I'm not a jerk. You are. Kidnapping is wrong.
Well, that rabbit shouldn't have gotten in my way.
Why don't you just let him go so we can all move on?
What kind of fool do you think I am? I'm holding this loser rabbit for ransom. If the serval pays up, I'll let him go.
That's not fair. He shouldn't have to pay you to see his friend again. That's it. We're gonna settle this with a battle. I drew my sword and got ready to fight. From day 40 to day 43, I started my battle with the kidnapping wraith. Just let the rabbit go, and we don't have to do this.
Never! I'm gonna get rich off of this ransom, and I'm gonna take your head to the bandit warlord and see if he'll pay me for doing him a favor.
No, you won't. You're not doing either of those things. It was a difficult fight, but I was finally able to defeat him. He dropped a key, and I unlocked a door in his base, letting the desert rabbit free. Your friend, the serval, sent me. Are you okay?
That was pretty scary. But I'm not hurt or anything. Nothing a nap, a meal, and a hug from my best friend can't fix.
I led the desert rabbit back to the serval and watched the two best friends have a tearful reunion.
You're okay. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sorry I couldn't pay the ransom. I'd do anything I could to save you. Thank you for your help, Zozo. Thank you.
From day 44 to day 49, I took all of the crying obsidian I had gathered and brought it back to my base. When I got there, the desert wolf was waiting patiently for me.
Welcome back from your arduous journey, Zozo. I'm glad to see you were successful. I shall take this crying obsidian and incorporate it into the statue at once.
While he was working on the statue, I decided to make some improvements to the base too. Why should he be doing all the work? I can also make this place better. Let's see. I bet a new perimeter wall would help. I spent a while constructing a wall around the perimeter of the base to keep invaders out. When I was finished, I took a step back and admired my hard work. This looks great! Time to check in on that statue. When I reached the statue, the desert wolf had finished adding on the crying obsidian. Wow, it's really coming together. I can't wait to find out what it is. From day 50 to day 53, I was hanging out of my base, enjoying the new improvements, when I suddenly heard a commotion coming from outside. I followed the sound and saw a bunch of barbarians run towards my base. Oh no! In the distance, I could see the bandit warlord hanging back while his oogly boogly boys did the dirty work for him.
How do you like me now? Not very much, I wager. Huh.
Come and face me yourself. Don't just hide back there like a coward.
I'm not scared. I just don't feel like walking all the way over there. Yeah, much better to let my oogly boogly boys mess you up instead.
He then talked to one of his minions.
Say, boss, what should we do with this random wolf here?
Oh, let's take him. I haven't had a good hostage in ages, and kidnapping is so much fun. Let's go. Ta-ta, Zozo. I hope you're getting used to losing, cause it's gonna keep happening.
One of the barbarians took the desert wolf away.
Toodaloo.
The bandit warlord disappeared, leaving me with the remaining barbarians. I had no choice but to fight my way through them, so I did. I got my sword and I slashed left and right, knocking down every barbarian until none of those oogly boogly boys were left standing. Whew, that was a tough fight. As I took a second to catch my breath, I felt my hearts increase to 50. I also felt a huge burst of energy. I ran up to a piece of nearby wall and started climbing it. Whoa, I couldn't do that before. From day 54 to day 57, I was feeling excited about my new ability to climb walls. But the excitement didn't last long, since the desert wolf was nowhere to be found. I wish I knew where they took him, or how I can get him back. Before I could figure out a rescue mission though, I needed to fix up my sword. So I did just that. Using an anvil, I quickly repaired my sword. Now, who do I know who has experience with kidnapping and rescuing their friends? Wait a second, I remember someone! To the oasis! I returned to the oasis and tracked down the serval I helped before.
Oh, hi, Zozo. Is something wrong?
Something's very wrong. My friend was kidnapped, and I don't know what to do next.
Oh, geez. Well, you're the hero, not me. I don't know. Who kidnapped them?
The bandit warlord did.
Oh, no. His oogly boogly boys are so strong and scary. But I do know where they might have taken your friend. I bet they're in the Weeping Mire. But you'll need better gear before you go there. I don't want to be rude, but hire won't cut it when you're on the bandit warlord's turf. I'm sorry.
Thanks for the advice. I'd better find some stronger weapons then. From day 58 to day 62, I ventured down into the mine, deeper than I'd ever gone before, and started searching. After a little while, I found some diamonds. Jackpot! I dug up all of the diamonds and was getting ready to carry them back to my base when a huge tarantula suddenly crawled out of the shadows and jumped at me. Ah! Get back! But it didn't get back. It tried to bite me instead. I dodged just in time, climbing up the wall of the cave to get away from the spider. Next, I got my sword and attacked, jumping down from the wall and catching the tarantula by surprise. Gotcha! I was able to defeat the tarantula and escape from the cave without taking any damage. Phew, that was close. Now, time to use these diamonds. I crafted a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. These will be perfect. Time to make a plan. From day 63 to day 66, I took a look at the statue that the desert wolf had been working so hard on. I promise, I'll get you back safe and sound. I will! You'll be able to finish this statue, my friend. I wanted to work on the statue, but it made me too sad to do anything without the desert wolf. I need to be brave, so I can rescue him. No time to get discouraged. I have to remember my mission here, and you have to remember to subscribe to the channel for more Zozo stories and awesome videos. With that, there was no more time to sit around and miss the desert wolf. I had to go and get him back. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the Weeping Mire in search of the bandit warlord's base. Okay, you creep, where are you hiding, my friend? I used my speedy stealth to sneak around the place, looking for a way in. I spotted an entrance, but it was being guarded by a bunch of barbarians. There are a lot of them, and only one of me. But I've got the spiffy diamond sword on my side, and the determination to save my friend. I think I can do it. I guess the barbarians heard me giving myself a pep talk because one of them turned to look right at me.
Hey, it's that tiger snake abomination! Get 'em, boys, for the glory of the bandit warlord!
Oh, no you don't. I'm not gonna get got. They attacked me, but I was ready for them. With my new diamond sword, taking out those oogly boogly guards was a cinch. Before too long, they were all beaten, and I was ready to head into the dungeon and rescue the desert wolf. From day 71 to day 74, I ran inside the bandit warlord's base. I was ready to keep running until I reached the dungeon and found my friend, but a brigand was blocking my path. Get out of my way. I've got an important mission.
No, I crush you. Time to fight. Time to lose.
Or maybe it's time for me to win. Ever think about that? The brigand didn't answer. Instead, it attacked me, but it was no match for my diamond sword. I defeated the brigand and continued my journey. As I did, I stumbled upon a chest. Oh, I wonder what's in here. I hope it's something good. I opened the chest and took a look inside. Whoa! I was right about it being something good. Look at this. It's a full set of diamond armor. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the armor and put it on. Now no one can stop me from rescuing the desert wolf. I feel so tough and strong and ready to take on whatever threats try to get in my way. The bandit warlord is wrong about a lot of stuff, but he got one thing right. I really am a powerful tiger snake. But unlike him, I use my powers for good. No time to keep making speeches to myself. I've got to get moving. From day 75 to day 78, I finally reached the dungeon where I could see the desert wolf locked in a cage. Are you okay? Did those creeps hurt you?
Do not worry about me, Zozo. I am unharmed. I thank you for coming to free me from this cage. I was not meant to be confined like this. Look behind you and find the key.
What does that mean? Is it a riddle?
No, Zozo, the key to my cell is behind you. Turn around and look. It is right there.
Oh, got it. I turned around and, sure enough, there was the key. I picked it up and unlocked the cell. There, now you're free.
I am forever in your debt, Zozo.
Oh, there's no need for all that. You're my friend. I'm just glad you're safe.
I must flee this place before they notice I am gone. I trust you will be right behind me.
I'll be right there. Go on ahead. I'll meet you back at the base. Back home. I watched the desert wolf gracefully lope out of the dungeon, and I was about to follow him when the bandit warlord emerged from the shadows.
Hello, Zozo. Fancy meeting you here. Just kidding. I knew you'd come here. It's a trap, isn't it? Oh, you saved your little friend. How nice. But who's gonna save you, eh? No one. And you're in my house now, mate.
Yeah, maybe you should hire a decorator. Your house is pretty gross.
How dare you? My mum decorated this lair, and she has impeccable taste. Just for that, I'll chop you into little bits, I will.
Climbed the wall while he was yammering on and was able to surprise him by jumping down onto him, my sword ready.
Hey, that's no fair.
You kidnapped my friend. Seems pretty fair to me. This time, our strength was better matched. I could actually fight him and do some real damage. And he could tell I could see he was getting shaken up. I was about to attack again when he knocked me back into a wall with a sudden hit. While I was recovering, he ran away, disappearing down the hall.
I'm not running away. I just left the oven on and my pies are burning. I'm very brave.
I didn't believe him, but I decided to take that moment to get out of there and make my way back to my base. From day 79 to day 84, the bandit warlord paced back and forth in his lair deep in the weeping mire.
I can't let myself lose to a tiger snake. What even is that? A reptile? A cat? Can't be both. But somehow, it is. Horrible, just horrible. I have to get stronger, bigger, badder. I know. I have this potion of strength that Mummy gave me for my birthday. I promised to save it for a rainy day. And well, it looks pretty rainy to me.
He grabbed the potion of strength and quickly drank the whole thing. Immediately, he began to grow bigger and stronger, letting the potion's power course through him.
Oh, just you wait, Zozo. Next time, I won't have to run away. Tend to some burning pies in the oven. Next time, it will be a fight to the death. Your death, not mine.
From day 85 to day 89, I made it back to my base. I can't believe that bandit warlord keeps running away from our fights. What a dweeb. I needed to get out of there though, so I could come check on things back here. Desert Wolf, did you make it back?
Yes, Zozo, I am here. And I have something wonderful to show you. The statue is finally complete. I hope that it will inspire you to achieve your goals and complete your hero's journey.
I walked over to where he had been building the statue, and my jaw dropped. It was a tiger's face. Wow, it's amazing.
I find this symbol to be deeply meaningful, not just because of your tiger-like nature, but because of what it represents. It is the thrill of the fight. It is the ability to rise up to the challenge of a rival. It is the survivor watching his ultimate goal with the eye of the tiger.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. If only I could be sure how to finally defeat the bandit warlord when he keeps running away.
Simple. Do not let him run away next time. Be brave, be true, stand and fight, even as he tries to flee. Only then will you at last be victorious. Also, I believe that there is a potion of power hidden in the oasis. Drink of it, and it will prepare you for the final battle.
From day 90 to day 94, I listened to the Desert Wolf's advice and returned to the oasis. When I got there, I saw a barbarian had gotten there first.
The boss will be thrilled I found this potion of power for him. All I need to do is open this chest.
Hey, wait a second. I need that potion.
And find it, keepers.
How about I fight you for it?
Sure, I could use a good victory.
He was pretty confident, but he shouldn't have been. With my diamond sword and my new set of armor, I was much stronger than I had ever been before. I beat you oogly boogly boys without all this new gear and training. It'll be a piece of cake now. I was right, too. It was a quick fight, and like a piece of cake, winning was pretty sweet. With the barbarian out of my way, I opened the chest and found the potion of power inside. Great! I'll hold on to this until I absolutely need it. From day 95 to day 97, I traveled back to my base, feeling more and more confident with each passing day. I'm starting to think I could really do this. The desert wolf was right. I'm going to complete my hero's journey and defeat the bandit warlord. I feel like I'm watching him with the eye of the tiger right now. While I was thinking about that, the serval came to visit me.
Hi, excuse me, is Zozo home? Sorry to bother you.
Hi, I'm here. Not a bother at all. What's up? The serval approached me.
Well, I heard you were getting ready for a really big fight, and I found something I thought might help you. Not that you need any help. I'm sure you're very capable, totally on your own. But I thought you should have this, in case you want it. If you do.
He handed me a full set of netherite armor. This is the most amazing armor I've ever seen. Thank you so much. What an incredible gift.
You're sure? You really like it? I kept the receipt. You can totally exchange it if you want to.
Oh, it's perfect. I'll wear this when I head into battle. With it on, I'll be protected from whatever the bandit warlord throws at me.
Good luck, Zozo. Not that you need luck. Geez, I'm sorry. I put my paw in my mouth again. I'm so rude. What I'm trying to say is, I believe in you.
Message received, my friend. Message received. On day 98, I spent my time preparing for my final confrontation with the bandit warlord. I tried on my new netherite armor, practiced with my sword and bow, climbed walls, and practiced being quick and stealthy just like a tiger in the wild. I'm feeling really prepared. I think it's now or never, and I'd rather it be now. I've learned a lot about being a tiger snake, and I think the only thing left to do is make sure to search for Zozo videos by typing ZOZO and leave a comment about who you want to see next. And defeat the big bad, of course. On day 99, I said goodbye to the desert wolf, took one more look at the tiger face statue, and traveled back to the bandit warlord's lair in the Weeping Mire. Okay, I was waiting for the right moment, and I think this is it. I grabbed the potion of power and drank it. Immediately, I felt it starting to work. I grew bigger and stronger. My heart's increased to 100. I feel awesome. I feel powerful. I feel like a tiger and snake combined. I shouted with excitement, and a blast of fire came out of my mouth. And I've got fire breath too. What am I waiting for? Let's go. With all the confidence of a big, strong tiger snake, I strode into the base until I finally found the bandit warlord.
Hello, Zozo. You might notice I look a tad different. I had a potion, and it's gone and made me big. Wait a minute, you're bigger too. No fair. That's no fair. What's that? Me mum's calling me. I've got to go. No time to fight right now.
You're lying. I won't let you run away from another fight with me. You've done too many terrible things. We're finishing this now.
Okay, just let me. Ha! I tricked you.
Just like that, he rushed at me and attacked. He caught me by surprise, but my new armor protected me from damage and gave me time to blast him with my fire breath. He definitely wasn't expecting that. After the fire breath, he was dazed and confused, and definitely wasn't ready for my next move when I attacked with my sword. You tried to scare me, but you were just a bully, a cowardly bully. You always were. Well, you're not gonna bully anyone anymore. And with that, I struck a final blow, and the bandit warlord fell! On day 100, I arrived back home at my base, victorious and happy. I did it! I finally did it!
Wonderful news! Tell me, how does it feel to be a hero?
It feels awesome!
And what will your next quest be?
I don't know, but right now, I want to kick back and relax with my friends for a little while. Can we do that?
We certainly can. Heroics are all well and good, but there is nothing more important than taking the time to rest after a job well done.
On day 1, I spawned into the seasonal forest as a rad poison dinosaur. Whoa, I'm awesome and deadly. Nobody is gonna mess with me, even though I've only got 10 hearts. But that turned out to be totally wrong, because as quick as a flash, an intimidating axe-wielding pillager appeared right behind me. He didn't look intimidated by me at all.
Howdy. Haven't seen you around these parts before, kid.
Hey, I'm Zozo. It's, nice to meet ya.
Wish I could say the same. Name's Pillager Pete. The meanest, nastiest son of a gun you'll find around here. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to run, and then I'm gonna destroy you.
But why? I don't even know you.
3, 2, 1.
He didn't hesitate for a second. Pillager Pete attacked, and all I could do was run for the hills. I didn't even have weapons. There was no way I could fight him. But as I ran away, I heard Pillager Pete yell.
Get 'em, boys!
That's when a gang of Vindicators jumped out of the trees and started chasing me. It seemed like this Pillager Pete guy had a whole team working for him, but why were they after me? In the end, I managed to outrun them and hid behind a clutch of trees until they stopped looking. I need to figure out what's going on here, or my poison goose is cooked. On day 2, I felt relieved, having narrowly escaped the scary Pillager Pete and those lethal gangs of Vindicators. But I couldn't afford to worry too much about it. Instead, I needed to get myself a snack, or my hunger bar was going to start eating itself. Lucky for me, I was able to find some apples that sated my hunger. Do dinosaurs eat apples? Who knows? I'm not a paleontologist. That's the name for someone who studies dinosaurs, by the way. But before I could even let my dinner settle, one of the Vindicators popped out and prepared to attack me.
Pillager Pete sends his regards, you poison little loser.
With no weapons, I couldn't fight back. I just ran off and avoided him until he disappeared. Then, when the coast was clear, I decided it was a good time to start working on a shelter. I broke down a tree and made a wooden pickaxe. Then, I mined up some stone and used it to build some better tools. A stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And with my spare stone, I built myself a basic one-room base where I could rest for the night. I'll figure out how to defeat all those villains tomorrow. On day 3, I ventured out of the seasonal forest to the inhospitable cold of the Shattered Glacier. Yeesh, I wouldn't want to build a summer home around here. Still, there might at least be some cool loot for the taking. But thanks to my cruddy luck, instead of finding some awesome loot, I found a dangerous zombified piglin.
Hey, I'm the only weird, nasty creature that's allowed in these parts. You're cramping my style. And if you cramp my style, I'll crush you!
He attacked me viciously, causing me to run away. There was no way I could survive a fight with him at my low level of experience. Why is everyone so aggro here? I don't get it. Why is it so hard to make friends? But I may have gotten lucky in the end, because I happened upon a friendly weaponsmith wandering the glacier.
Well, hello there, me good lad. I'm Wally. Wally the Weaponsmith. As the name suggests, I like making weapons. What are you doing out here?
Oh, just exploring. I need to find some cool gear to fight off that nasty Pillager Pete guy.
Wait, you said Pillager Pete? Oh, sonny, now that's a whole can of worms.
You know about Pillager Pete?
I've known him for years.
Then you better come with me. I need all the help I can get. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base with Wally the Weaponsmith. He seemed like a really useful guy to keep around. What kind of room would you like, Wally?
I'm easy, me lad. As long as I've got somewhere warm with a roof over my head, I'll be happy.
I worked on mining some stone and andesite and started putting together a new room with a bed for Wally the Weaponsmith to stay. When I was done making it, he decided to go and relax inside the room and make himself at home. But I wasn't able to relax just yet. A Vindicator assassin suddenly popped out of the trees and fired a blow dart at me. Hey, how come that didn't work? I'm a poison dinosaur, man. You can't use poison darts on me.
Oh well, I'll destroy you with a sword then.
Not if I destroy you first. We both drew weapons and I battled bravely until, in the end, the Vindicator assassin was defeated. And even better, I got to pick up his blowgun and the darts. I bet this will be even more lethal in the hands of a poison dinosaur like me. From day 6 to day 8, I went out further into the seasonal forest to gather up some more resources, namely sheep. Wool can be used for so many things after all. I found a gang of sheep and was able to shepherd them back to my base, where I built a basic pen to keep them in. But when I went back out to the seasonal forest to gather even more sheep, I found something I didn't want to find. Or rather, that something found me.
Long time no see, Zozo.
It was Pillager Pete, and he was back with a deadly new surprise for me.
throwing axes, freshly sharpened for that killer edge. Figured you might be able to help me with some target practice. I'll throw, and you play the target.
Before I had a chance to think up a poisonously clever comeback, he tossed an axe right at me, and I was forced to run for my life. He just followed me, laughing, throwing axe after axe. When one hit me, I lost almost all of my hearts. I needed to get out of here.
Running away already, Zozo? The fun's just getting started for me.
I knew I wasn't strong enough to beat him yet. Instead, I hid behind a tree and dug a hole into the ground, which I hid inside while Pillager Pete ran past me. I stayed in that hole for the rest of the day, wanting to make sure he was gone before I climbed back out and went back to my base. Jeez, what a day! From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to the weaponsmith, brimming with excitement. He had some awesome things to show me.
Zozo, me boy, I wanted to thank you for giving me a place to stay in these difficult times. For starters, I made you a statue. It's a bit of a work in progress, but I think when it's done, it's gonna be amazing.
Wow, thank you, Wally. I can't wait to see it. I followed him outside and saw the start of a statue that Wally had been building. It was an astounding sight to see. I couldn't tell you what it was yet, but I knew it was going to be amazing. How about you, viewer? What do you think it's gonna be? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see if you get it right. But it wasn't just the statue. Wally had some other good news too.
Oi! Take a look around the base, Zozo. I made a training area for you to work in, and I plan to create a lot of weapons for you too. And I made a furnace to make it easier for me to forge for you. I also made a storage room to keep the weapons and resources.
Wow, Wally, that's amazing! Let's build a campfire tomorrow night to celebrate. From day 11 to day 12, I stood by a campfire outside my base as the evening turned to dusk, hanging out with Wally the weaponsmith. Wally, you told me you knew something about Pillager Pete. I think now is a pretty good time for you to share that information, bud.
Huh, you've got me there, lad. I suppose now is the right time to tell you. I was worried if I told you before, you'd be discouraged.
Tell me, I believe I can take it.
I used to be a bounty hunter. He got so good at it. In fact, he hired a loathsome gang of vindicators to join him on his quests. But they got bored doing jobs for people. They'd take out their targets, they'd take out the people who hired them, and they'd take out anyone who they saw along the way. These days, they mostly just go after people for the challenge. They enjoy it.
And I guess he thinks that the mighty poison dinosaur is a good challenge?
Aye, lad. He'll hunt you down if it's the last thing he does. So you gotta make sure it is the last thing he does.
So no pressure then.
That's why I didn't tell you before.
From day 13 to day 15, finally knowing just how dangerous my opponent was, I decided that I needed to settle some old scores and prove my worth. That's why I was making my way through the Shattered Glacier once again, ready to take on one of my earliest and deadliest enemies, the zombified piglin. I approached with my stone sword at the ready. It was time to finish this.
Oink, oink! Ready to get your poison butt kicked, Dino?
It's Zozo. But yes, I guess I am also a dino. It's confusing, but don't worry about it. Let's just fight! And so, we did! The zombified piglin and I duked it out, and I gave it my all, until in the end, my power and my poison were too much for him! The zombified piglin was defeated, and I had enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and now having 30 whole hearts! But wait, I can feel my power growing! What is this? Boom! I fired a powerful poison blast! Oh yeah! I have a feeling that this new power is gonna be useful! From day 16 to day 19, I descended into the mining cavern I'd worked so hard to find. I'd never been so grateful to be in a deep, dark hole. Okay, iron, 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 where are you? I kept searching until I found a rich vein of iron ore and used my pickaxe to dig the ore out. I collected as much of it as I could and then prepared to leave the cavern. Wait, what's that weird noise? Suddenly, an arrow hit me and I saw a bunch of skeletons walking towards me. Most would have been scared, but not me. I was just excited to try out my new poison blast ability. Time to see how my poison affects bones. I unleashed a few poison blasts and the skeletons immediately started dying. I'd never felt so powerful. Pillager Pete is gonna be in real trouble next time we see each other. I gathered the rest of the iron and returned back. With the Skelly Boys defeated, I went back to my base and gave the iron ore over to the weaponsmith.
Great work, lad! I've tempered you some fine weapons with the furnace. Take this iron sword and iron pickaxe and use them to make yourself even stronger.
Thanks, Weaponsmith Wally. I can't wait. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up to the weaponsmith panicking in my bedroom. Wally, why'd you come in here? Can't you see I'm trying to get my poison dinosaur beauty sleep?
No time, lad. The pillager, he's here, and he looks like he's ready to battle. You need to be ready. He's gonna destroy us all.
Jeez, this is one heck of a wake-up call, Wally. I yanked myself out of my bed and ran out to meet Pillager Pete at the door. He looked every bit as well-trained and lethal as before.
Well. If it ain't the toxic twerp, I'll need to teach a thing or two.
I'm learning on my own, Pillager, and everything I've learned is going to make me even stronger than you.
I love your confidence, kid. It's more fun to destroy someone when they think they're gonna win.
Without warning, the pillager threw an axe at me, wounding me, but I couldn't afford to back down. I started attacking Wally with my iron sword, striking again and again, slowly wearing him down. In the end, I hit him with a poison blast, and that stopped him in his tracks.
You dirty little snake. You're always gonna rely on your poison to win, aren't you? You little coward. You're not worth my time.
I'll see you next time, Pete. And when I do, only one of us will remain. Pillager Pete disappeared in a puff of smoke, and I was left feeling the thrill of battle and the belief that I truly had it in me to defeat that diabolical pillager. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to craft a brand new weapon for myself, the Poison Sprayer. This would allow me to concentrate my most powerful poisons into an area of effect spray attack. This weapon will no doubt serve me well when Pillager Pete comes knocking. I'll show him who uses poison to win fights, nobody else but me. And if you want to show your friends more of my most epic battles, remember to search ZOZO so you can find more videos. From day 27 to day 31, I went to check on Wally the Weaponsmith and see how his work on the statue was progressing. How goes it, Wally?
Hi there, Zozo. The statue has a new section complete, thanks to my craftsmanship. Want to come see it?
Sure, if you insist. The statue was now of an impressive size, and I still couldn't see what it would become.
For the next part, I need some more framed glass. That could be tricky to come by in the large quantities I need, even for a weaponsmith like me. But I did hear of an abandoned mine in the Sierra Valley, which might have a vein of it.
Say no more. I'm off to collect this special glass so you can make more progress on this glorious statue. I gathered my weapons and departed from the base to begin my quest for the stacks upon stacks of glass needed. Before long, I was deep in the Sierra Valley. The area was crawling with vindicators who somehow must have known I'd be searching for resources in the area. Didn't take long for some to spot me and run in.
You made a big mistake, embarrassing Pillager Pete like that. He's gonna want us to destroy you slowly for what you've done.
And you made an even bigger mistake telling me that. The poison sprayer should keep you creeps at bay. And it did. I defeated multiple vindicators using the poison sprayer, then used my poison blast on another couple and finished them all. From day 32 to day 35, I ventured farther into the Sierra Valley and encountered another vicious vindicator.
You can't scare me away, Zozo. I'm braver than my buddies.
Rather than facing it head-on, I used a poison dart from my blowgun and then switched to the poison sprayer to inflict the poison status. The poison damage gradually weakened him, especially when I also used the poison blast. The combination of all this was able to finish him off quickly. This valley is more dangerous than I thought. For vindicators. Oh yeah, I'm the most dangerous thing here. That's when I saw a wandering trader traveling through the area. Traders are known for having all sorts of rare items, so immediately I started to think that I should do business with the guy. I'll bet he even has the framed glass I need for the statue. I approached the trader and asked if I could purchase any of his wares, especially if his inventory happened to include framed glass.
I do have some of those, but I won't just give them away for free.
Okay already, name your price.
I need you to rescue my librarian, who has been kidnapped by the Enderman. I have a couple overdue library books in my inventory, and if the librarian is gone, I'll never be able to return them.
That's it? A rescue mission? Easy peasy poison greasy. I got this. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled to the base of the Enderman who kidnapped the local librarian. The fate of 1,000 library cards hangs in the balance. I may be the toughest poison dinosaur around, but even I support access to good reading. I looked in through one of the windows of the base and saw a cage with the librarian held captive inside. The The Enderman was pacing around the room, looking all kinds of sinister.
Please let me go. Running a well-stocked library is a service to the community, and I can't do it if I'm trapped in here.
That's exactly the point. Without you taking care of the library, I'll be able to keep my overdue library books forever.
You fiend. Other people might want to read those books.
Then they can pry them from my pitch-dark, freakishly long arms.
This Enderman is seriously evil, but it was a good thing that he wasn't very careful. I could see the key to the librarian's cage on the wall. I can't use an area of effect weapon like the poison sprayer because I might poison the librarian, so I'll use a bunch of blow darts on the Enderman first, then use my iron sword to end the fight up close and personal. I prepared some poison darts for the first step of my plan and proceeded to enter the structure. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck up on the Enderman and surprised him with a couple poison sprays.
Who in the heck are you?
Just a poison dinosaur who is here to rescue the librarian. Nothing personal.
It's about to be personal, because I'd rather fight to the bitter end than return any of my library books.
You have some strange priorities, Enderman. But by all means, keep talking about them, so my poison has more time to damage you.
You lousy, I'm going to make you extinct.
The Enderman charged in swinging, but I knew the poison was taking its toll, so I pulled out my iron sword and started swinging right back. We fought in melee, and I quickly gained the upper hand. With a few daring slashes, I overwhelmed the Enderman and finished what the poison started. Bye-bye, Enderman. I guess it was your end you should have been worried about. The fallen Enderman dropped the key, which I used to unlock the librarian's cage.
Thank you for saving me.
I returned to the wandering merchant and told him what I did. He then provided me with the material for the statue. Side quest taken care of. Oh yeah! From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the framed glass that Wally the weaponsmith would need to continue work on the statue. Here you go, Wally. Don't say I never do anything around here.
Why not? I like the statue building to me. Thanks for doing the tough part.
Trust me, Wally, I'm capable of a whole lot of things. And to prove what I said, I used some of my extra stone, wood, and iron to construct a perimeter wall around the entire base. The base had gotten to be quite large, so it took a while, but the wall was a lot of fun to build and would make a great defensive barrier too. Man, I worked up a real poisonous sweat getting this wall built. Now that it's done, I'd better go see if Wally has made any progress on the statue in the meantime. Back to the area where the statue was being constructed and saw that it was much closer to be completed than last time. That framed glass that I had collected really shined in the proper place.
Zozo, you're staring at the statue again? It's not gonna be finished today, you know.
I know, Wally. I'm just taking a break to admire it. From day 50 to day 53, the perimeter wall I just built around the base was attacked by a gang of Vindicators, and as usual, Pillager Pete was the one sending them.
Tear down that wall! We've got ourselves a catch to bring in.
I was sure they were talking about me, so I drew my blowgun and started to fire poison darts at them from the wall. Here I am. Did you miss me? Because my darts won't miss you. A few of the Vindicators were poisoned by my attack and climbed up the broken wall to fight me more directly. I drew my iron sword and slashed them down. Then I heard Wally crying out in the distance.
Hey, on me. I'm not going anywhere with you by choice.
Oh no, I was wrong. Wally was actually the target they were after this time. The Vindicators had surrounded him, and by the time I got over there, he'd already been kidnapped and taken away.
I order half of you to stay behind and see if you can get that poison dinosaur. He's the real prize.
As Pete escaped, the others tried to take me on, so I switched my poison sprayer and hit them with all of my strongest poisons. Can't catch me, and I'll get Wally back after I whoop all of you with my poison powers. With some poison blasts, I wiped out the remaining Vindicators one by one. The experience of defeating them caused me to level up, obtaining 50 hearts and some radical poison claw attacks. From day 54 to day 57, I repaired my base and built it back better than ever, leveling up the architecture to the standards of my new, bigger, powered-up self. I'm here on my own now without Wally, but I won't be lonely for long. That guy is too handy of a weaponsmith to let him stay captured. I just need some help from one of my other friends. I went to the Sierra Valley where the wandering trader liked to hang out, and as expected, he was there.
Well, if it isn't my favorite customer, what can I do for you today?
Pillager Pete and his force of former bounty hunters took my weaponsmith. I'm looking for any information you might have about where their base is.
Oh, I've got information. A trader keeps track of all sorts of business.
Those bounty hunters operate in the far north, where they keep a prison for the most hard-to-catch targets. Back in the day, they would turn them in for money. But now the prison is more like a living trophy cabinet, a place where the creatures they capture are forced to stay forever.
This has to be where they've taken Wally. You said this prison was in the north, but north is a pretty general direction. Where in the north is it?
It's so far north that you'll enter the snowy tundra biome before you find it. Search around in the reaches of that place, and it won't be too much farther.
Well, that's exactly what I needed to know. Thanks, Wandering Trader.
Wait, aren't you gonna trade me something?
You never named your price. Better luck next time. From day 58 to day 62, I was digging in the mines for diamonds so that I could soup up my gear for the journey north. Iron rusts, but diamonds are forever. In the depths of the cavern, I ran into a few ghasts that weren't too happy to see a poisoned dinosaur making moves in their territory. Too bad for them that my poison claws were so strong that I could take each one down in a single blow. Guess that's the ghast we'll see of those guys. With those nuisances out of the way, I was free to keep mining until I struck diamond. I grabbed all that I could carry and brought it to the crafting table where I fashioned some brand new diamond gear. First, a diamond pickaxe, and then a diamond sword. The journey north will be much less treacherous with these. From day 63 to day 66, I took a moment to observe the half-complete statue that Wally the Weaponsmith hadn't yet completed. If he were here, Wally would probably be working on this right now. I need to get him back so he can complete it. Also, under my tough and cool exterior, I really did miss my friend and hoped that I would be able to find him and save him from Pillager Pete. And if you hope to find more of my videos, you should subscribe to the channel so that all my new uploads will appear right there on your YouTube feed. From day 67 to day 70, I had been traveling for a while before I reached the snowy tundra. This is it, the far north. I made it. Nothing is going to keep me from saving Wally. I could see the old bounty hunter prison standing tall among the slopes. It was guarded by a patrol of Vindicators, but I wouldn't let them stop me from breaking in. I fired my poison darts at the Vindicators to draw their attention towards me, inflicting the poison status condition in the process.
Ah, the poison dinosaurs come all the way to the far north. Let's send them packing.
I don't think so. I'm here to check in and save my friend. I drew my diamond sword and hacked and slashed straight through all the approaching Vindicators. The way forward was now totally clear for me to enter into the prison and find Wally the Weaponsmith. From day 71 to day 74, I was traversing the many treacherous floors of the bounty hunter prison. I was searching for Wally, but I couldn't see any sign of him. All of the prison cells I did see were empty, and on one of them, the bars were broken off. I wonder who was in there.
The same menace who is now out here.
I turned around to see a zombified piglin running towards me down the hallway.
I was captured by Pillager Pete, but now I enjoy living at this prison because I get to eat all the other prisoners.
You eat the prisoners? That's nasty! But you didn't need a weaponsmith, did you?
No. Why? Do you know one?
You know what? Forget I mentioned it. Also, take this! I poison blasted the zombified piglin. He aggressively responded with brutal melee attacks. Instead of using my diamond sword, I used my poison claws to give the zombified piglin a poison status effect and deal enough regular damage to take him out. He dropped a map that revealed the location of Wally's cell. On my way down to it, I discovered a treasure chest, which I opened. Inside was a full set of diamond armor, most likely confiscated from a former prisoner. I equipped the armor and kept on moving. From day 75 to day 78, I reached the prison cell where Wally was being held. Wally, you look like you've had better days.
Zozo, never expected to see you again, but here you are to bust me out of the prison.
Wally, listen, I realized something while I was on my journey to the far north. Even though people like Pillager Pete have made life difficult for me, I haven't given up on making friends. I might be strong now, but it takes real strength to let your guard down around other people.
That's a really mature thing for you to say, Zozo. I appreciate it. Now let's get out of here.
I mined through the bars of the prison cell with my diamond pickaxe, and the two of us went in search of the exit. Unfortunately, we were intercepted along the way by Pillager Pete.
What's this? Are we gonna start a new hunt? I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Not as much as I am, Pete. I'm going to defeat you. I waved Wally on and confronted Pillager Pete myself. I'd catch up with my best friend later. For now, it was payback time. I attacked with my poison claws while Pillager Pete struck with his weapon. Both of us were losing health fast, but if I could poison him, I'd be able to swing the battle in my favor, which did the trick. Ha! You're poisoned! This is my win, Pete!
That's what you think.
From day 79 to day 84, Pillager Pete absorbed my poison and proceeded to grow larger and much stronger.
I warned you against using poison. If you introduce a sneaky tactic to the game, then it's gonna be used against you. I'll poison Pete now. Infinitely more toxic than my original form. Your status effects won't be able to bring me down now.
Wait, that means you're immune to poison?
That's right. I had to adapt to all kinds of strange targets during my bounty hunter days, and you've been on my list long enough for me to become your worst nightmare. Go ahead and run. I'll give you a head start because it's more fun that way.
I ran away from the prison and down the snowy tundra, knowing that I couldn't beat him in my current state. I may have rescued Wally, but the poisonous Pillager Pete was still coming for me, and I needed a new plan. From day 85 to day 89, I safely returned to base after traveling for who knows how long. It seemed that Pete's head start was still in effect, so I went to Wally for some advice on how to arm myself against the former bounty hunter's new poison-immune form.
Sounds like what you need is a weapon enchantment for your diamond sword. I've got you covered with this fire aspect enchantment that should enhance the damage you deal to him. I'll keep thinking while I complete my work on the statue. For now, you should use the enchantment.
Thanks, Wally. I'll keep on thinking about how to win as well. This works better if we both put our heads together. I went to the anvil and applied the fire aspect enchantment to my diamond sword. Now I could inflict a burn on Pillager Pete. But I knew that alone wouldn't be enough to beat him, so I decided to go back to Wally and see if he had more ideas. I made my way back to the statue area to find it complete. An incredible statue of a poison flask. And more than just my poison, but putting it on display and acknowledging it really reminded me of how far I'd come in my poison dinosaur journey.
Zozo, I came up with another idea. You should head back to the Sierra Valley and find the potion of power that the Enderman once hoarded to himself.
You're full of great ideas, Wally. It's one of the many reasons we're friends. From day 90 to day 94, I set out for the Enderman's base and found out the Vindicators were there already. They must be looking for the potion of power.
Split up and search the place. The Enderman may have outwitted us long ago, but we can still reclaim his stuff now for the boss, including the potion of power.
I knew it! The Vindicators all noticed me and began to attack. But unlike their boss, these guys weren't immune to my poison. I hit them with poison blast, poison darts, and my poison sprayer until all of them were taken out. I searched through the base until I found a chest containing the fabled potion of power. I better save this for a key moment. With my enchanted sword and the potion of power in my inventory, there was only one more kind of gear I needed in order to have my showdown with Pete. Luckily, I knew exactly the man who could get me special items. From day 95 to day 97, I invited the wandering trader to my base and gave him a bunch of spare materials in exchange for the best suit of armor that he had in his inventory.
Here you go, Zozo. A full set of custom netherite armor, perfectly sized for a poison dinosaur.
Excellent! I'm going to try it on! I equipped the netherite armor, and now I had all the right stuff I needed to be a match for Pillager Pete in his positively perilous Poison Pete form. I'm going to put Pete in his place.
Good luck out there, Zozo. You'll always be my favorite customer.
On day 98, I kept all of my best gear close by as I remembered all the tough times I went through to get here. I learned so many new ways to use my poisonous power, but I also built things and made friends. Life can be really fun, even if there's a lot of difficult moments in it. And some of the most fun that we can have together is on many more adventures through the overworld. After this, search for more Zozo videos so that you can keep on having fun, and remember to leave a comment about what you want to see next. On day 99, I went back to the snowy tundra to give Pillager Pete the fight of his life. I was decked out in my netherite armor, holding my diamond sword enchanted with the fire aspect, and ready to drink the potion of power when the fight began. I'm here, Pete. Let's end this little game. Pillager Pete stepped out in his adapted form, looking as vicious as ever.
You didn't want to run anymore? Instead, you came straight to me. I'll mess you up so bad, you'll wish you did run away.
That's the thing, Pete. I'll never wish I ran away from this fight, because I'm not going to live my life in fear of bad people. I'm going to beat you and live the rest of it with the good people I chose to call my friends.
Don't you see? There's always some new enemy out there, some new challenges to overcome. Living an easy life That's nothing to aspire to.
It's everything to aspire to. And whatever comes my way, I'll keep fighting for that easy life, by any means necessary. He charged forward and hit me, but my netherite armor reduced the damage of his hits enough that I could strike back on equal footing. I swung my fire aspect sword and dealt a lot of damage, both regular and fire. We kept on trading blows, with my powerful form and gear keeping me in the fight. Pillager Pete had hunted me across the overworld for a long time, but today, he didn't stand a chance. With my poison fireball, I destroyed him so he would never hunt down anyone again. On day 100, I was living the easy life I had dreamed of back at the base with the others. The trouble with Pillager Pete was done, and for now, I could keep poison to myself. Wally decided to share some words of wisdom with me since today was our first real day of freedom.
Sometimes the best weapon we have when the going gets tough is a good attitude.
I couldn't agree more, buddy. There we were, friends together, united against a harsh and difficult world that was looking a little bit better every day.